So, I've really missed playing this. It's, well, as I've stated in my previous stream, it's been pretty much almost a week since um, I stated in my previous stream that it's been pretty much a week since I've streamed the previous time. And naturally, that means it's also been a while since I've had the chance to continue playing Doki Doki. And that's I was especially looking forward to it right now because we're finally starting to hang out with Natsuki. I've been looking forward to this. Alright, so today is the day we finally start properly hanging out with her. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So, without further ado, let's just hop into it. It's already Sunday. I've been getting increasingly anxious about Natsuki's upcoming visit, which is understandable, very understandable. I keep telling myself there's no reason to be nervous, but it doesn't help much. One second. There we go. I wonder if she liked any different if it's just the two of us. Meanwhile, she's been texting me a lot. We sent each other one after exchanging numbers to double check, but it turned into a conversation. She's almost an entirely different person on the phone, using tons of emoji and cute language. She also really likes complaining about things, but I kind of saw that one coming. I meander around the house, anxiously awaiting Natsuki's arrival. Before I know it, she texts me to let me know that she is outside the front door. I don't understand why she couldn't have just rung the doorbell, but whatever. I rush over to the door and open it. Hi? My mind goes blank as I completely forget what I was going to greet her with. I'm not sure what I expected, but seeing Natsuki in her casual clothes surprised me. It's such a huge difference from her uniform. With such cute clothing, she almost looks like a different person. Frankly, I'm at a loss for words. I don't recognize this music. That's new, isn't it? I don't recognize this music at all. Have I heard it on the Yuri route and I just don't remember it? Because I really don't recognize it. Huh. Oh well. Well, let's just keep going. It really fits Natsuki though. So maybe that's why I haven't heard it before. It just doesn't really go well with Yuri's personality. Alright. Code, why are you staring at me? Oh, sorry? Jeez, I just got here? It'll be a long afternoon if you keep acting weird just because you're not used to seeing me out of school. Right. Okay, now move, I'm coming in. I quickly step out of the way as Natsuki walks inside. Over her shoulder she's carrying a large bag made out of thick plastic. Is that all the cooking stuff? I point to Natsuki's bag. Yep, I wasn't gonna come all this way just to find out you're missing something important. Also, why are we in the living room right now? That doesn't make sense. We should be in the kitchen. But fine, I guess we're not getting to cooking immediately. Or baking. But let's be honest, baking is a form of cooking. Because cooking is the definition of making food, baking is making, well, baked food? I know. The best person here, master of descriptions. Alright. Speaking of important, did you get everything I asked you to get? Natsuki asked me to go out and buy a bunch of things if I didn't already have them on hand. Which reminds me. So don't get too mad, but I say that so she might go a little bit easy on me when I tell her I forgot to go shopping. But judging by the look on her face, I doubt it helped. Why did you forget? Oh wait, shopping trip? Shopping trip? Shopping trip. Let's go. Oh, don't tell me you forgot. Are you kidding me? I know, I'm sorry. What were you doing all weekend that you forgot to go shopping? Well, I was practicing my poem for the festival. Which isn't completely a lie. But almost entirely, isn't it? Yeah. I did actually spend some time reciting my poem to myself. Natsuki, meanwhile, looks at me with disbelief. You are practicing your poem? Yeah. Natsuki sighs as her expression softens a bit. Well, I guess I give you a pass this time. I expected you to say you were playing video games all weekend. Let me guess, I was playing video games for most of the weekend. Let me guess, that's what happened, right? And I just practiced my poem a little bit. Alright. But don't think you're completely off the hook. We still need those baking supplies if we want to get anything done. Well, I do have some money and it's only like a mile to town. Do you want to go buy the stuff we need? Yes, shopping trip. Well, it's not like we have any other choice. Just so you know, it's not a date or anything. Whatever you say, Natsuki, whatever you say, whatever you say. It's totally a date. Alright. It's totally a date. Our first date. Yay! Natsuki sets her back down next to the door as I head upstairs to retrieve my money. When I come down, I see Natsuki standing in the doorway, her hands on her hips. Come on, dummy, we don't have all day. I'm coming. We both part from my house and head towards town. So, what kind of cupcakes are we gonna make? Natsuki ponders this for a bit. I'm thinking just normal chocolate cupcakes with vanilla frosting. Oh, okay. But I feel like we should do something special. It is the festival after all. Something special with the cupcakes. Yeah, but like something more than just the flavors. And Yukashira, hi. Hi, welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a pleasant day so far. I'm certainly having a pleasant day because I've been looking forward to this. Yes, it's Natsuki time. Who would have ever guessed? I've been really looking forward to this. I haven't streamed this game in quite a while now because of reasons. And, well, now that we're finally properly starting the Natsuki route, I'm just so hyped for this. Alright, now, let's see. Let's see where this goes. Right now we're still in Act 1, so... we're still in Act 1, so not too much different stuff is... Well, I was gonna say not too much different stuff is gonna happen. But here we are going shopping with her when we normally would have just immediately proceeded to baking in the original, so... Despite it being Act 1, we're already encountering some new stuff. Alright, now. And yeah, I think I'm gonna like it, so... Boring at first? I don't know. Maybe kind of because... Well, I've played through the game once with Yuri, so I might know the general flow of events. So that's why some passages might be a bit boring. But overall, I'm looking forward to this. I don't think I'll be too bored with Natsuki. Alright. I wanted to have to do with the actual look of the cupcakes. Oh, kind of like those cat cupcakes on my first day, right? Yes, exactly. Something related to the look of the cupcakes. What's my age? Wouldn't you like to know, huh? Wouldn't you like to know? No, I'm not sure if I'm feeling up to officially revealing my age yet. I'm probably gonna do it eventually. Let's just be honest, it's probably gonna happen eventually, but right now, I'm not sure if that's something I want to publicly announce. Because I don't know why, actually. There's really no reason not to say it. But, well, despite that, I still feel like I feel like it's not the right time. Who knows, it might, as I said, maybe eventually. So, something related to the look of the cupcakes. Well, it is a literature event. Maybe you could put kanji characters on each one. Like in frosting? yeah, every cupcake could have a different character on it, and people could choose a cupcake based on which characters they like the most. That's actually not that bad of an idea. Just remembering what's gonna happen at the festival makes this all the more sad, because we're gonna get really into making those cupcakes and seeing everyone happy, and then the festival is gonna be a complete bust. Oh, that's sad. That's sad. But nothing we can do about it. We just have to push on through, persevere. Because it's what comes after the festival that's really important. Natsuki looks at the ground, seemingly disappointed she didn't come up with that first. Well, do you want to do it? Also, what's with the laughing right now? Is there something going on that I should know? No? Alright. Well, do you want to do it? Considering that it's the best idea we have, I guess so. Alright then. By now, we finally reach downtown. Natsuki spots a kitchen supply store and we both quietly head towards it. Once inside, Natsuki holds her phone up in front of my face. I've already texted you what we need, so just go off that for your list of supplies to get. Will we need anything special for the characters? Just a smaller frosting nozzle? I'll get that, you just focus on your stuff. Sounds like a plan. Natsuki heads off to a nearby aisle while I pull out my phone. I scroll through my texts and eventually find the list she sent me. Well then, let's start with the French vanilla extract. Within a couple of minutes I found everything on the list. As I place the final ingredient into my basket, Natsuki walks up to me. She dumps her stuff in my basket and walks with me to the register. I hand over my money, and before I know it, we're already walking back to my house. We arrive Uwu talk. We arrive quickly. No, we arrive quickly and I immediately get to work. It only takes about 10 minutes before the entire kitchen is a mess. Now we're back on track. Utensils, bowls, and spilled ingredients cover the countertops. Natsuki has a focus on the cupcakes themselves while I work on the frosting. Hey, what's the food coloring? Still in the bag on the table, why? I'm gonna color the batter different colors so it looks cooler, even if the flavor is still chocolate or vanilla. You think we should do that with the frosting as well? Yeah, sure. I'll give you the food coloring once I'm done. Alright. I've noticed Natsuki has been a lot more calm and friendly towards me ever since we started baking. She's been instructing me on what to do, but it's been more friendly advice rather than a command. The only explanation I've come up with is that cooking puts Natsuki's mind at ease and makes her less hostile. But it's not like that's uncommon. Talking about or doing something they're passionate about puts a smile on anyone's faces. Monica with playing the piano, Yuri with reading, Sayori with eating, and Natsuki with baking. Code, come on, focus! Natsuki's voice interrupts my thoughts. Oh, sorry. I resume stirring the frosting while Natsuki drops the food coloring into the batter. Once she's done with that, she scoops the batter into little baking cups and places them in a tray. Also, are we gonna have the conversation about, you know, lots of guys being into her, where we encourage her, you know, by saying that, don't worry, I should tell you, there's lots of guys who are into body types like yours. Just trust me on this, I know. Because I think they might have cut this conversation out for the mod. In which case I'm gonna be kind of disappointed, but oh well. At least I've seen it coming now. Actually, no, that conversation would have probably happened by now already. So my assessment is a little bit late on that. When she's done, scoops the batter into baking cups and places them on a tray. Preheat to 350? Natsuki mumbles instructions to herself as she messes around with the oven. I hear a beep as she walks over to check on my progress. Hey, is the icing good? Natsuki looks at the bowl with a judgmental expression. You're getting there, you just have to... Natsuki takes the whisk from my hands and starts stirring. Beat the crap out of it. Really? Beat the crap out of it? Yep. I remember that. It's so nice to be able to hang out with Natsuki a bit more. After a few seconds, I retrieve the whisk from Natsuki and follow in her example. Good, you're a fast learner. Thanks, you're a good teacher. Natsuki's face turns slightly red. Yeah, I am. I chuckle at Natsuki's gloating as she walks back to her workspace. Once the icing's a good consistency, I retrieve the food coloring from Natsuki. Hey, watch where you're putting your hands, dummy. And when you're getting icing everywhere? I looked down at my hands and realized they're covered in icing. Oh jeez, how did I not notice that? Don't ask me. You're the one who didn't notice his hands were covered in icing? Natsuki looks at me with a smirk. Oh, being smug, are we? You know what's happening next? Well, take that. I wipe my index finger on Natsuki's cheek, leaving a glove of icing behind. Natsuki shoots me a look of both shock and anger. Oh, you didn't. Now it's my turn to be smug. Oh, but I did. Natsuki's face suddenly lights up. Without warning, she dips her finger in the frosting bowl and swipes it across my entire face. You look so dumb. I walk over to the sink and grab a paper towel. So that's how it's gonna be, huh? I dramatically wipe my hands as Natsuki braces herself. Yep. Then so be it. I take the paper towel and attempt to shove it in Natsuki's face. This is already much more intense. I enjoy this. I really do. This is a proper fight this time around and not just, you know, a basic back and forth. We're actually getting into this. But she wipes the towel out of my hand and throws it to the side. Hey, hey. I slowly back up and put my hands up. Doesn't have to be like this. Natsuki ignores my call for a truce and tries to wipe icing across my face again. This time I catch her wrist as she swoops in. She tries to fight back with her other hand, but I grab that one as well, and now we're on the wall. And now we're right at the wall, right? Yep, pushing her against the wall. That's how it's supposed to be. Stop! Only if you apologize for calling me gross. Oh, no. Smearing icing on my face. Damn it, I read the line from the original game because I was... you can tell that... you can tell that I enjoy this game too much if I still remember the lines from the original like that. Yeah, apologize for wiping stuff on my face, not for calling me gross because you actually didn't do it. You're the one who started it? But I only did it a little. You smeared it all across my entire face. Now apologize. Fine, fine, I'm sorry. Thank you. Now apologize to me. I'm sorry as well. Thank you. Alright, that's that. I'd say I win this one. Oh yeah? Suddenly I feel a sharp pain in my right shin. I let go of Natsuki's wrist and stumble back. Did she kick me in the shin? Wow. Did she seriously just do that? You know, it was all in good fun before. But this is a declaration of war. You know, at least she didn't go for the private, so I give her that, but still, that's gotta hurt. Ow! Did you just kick me? I warned you. Ah, jeez. I hope my leg in pain as Natsuki stands triumphantly. Don't underestimate me. Okay, okay. I'm sorry. And I surrender. Ha! I win. You may have won the battle, but not the war. If one kick can send you down, winning the war will be a piece of cake. I roll my eyes, inciting another laugh from Natsuki. Alright, we should probably get back to work. Yeah, probably. Oh no, we didn't lick the icing off her finger. No. So much romance, just poof, gone. All that extra romance. Oh well, we're gonna get closer anyway. We're gonna get closer overall, so it's Gonna be a little bit of a slower process, but the end result is gonna be better. Natsuki and I wipe our faces off and pick up where we left off. I scoop some icing into a separate bowl and color the rest of it light pink. Natsuki pulls the batch of cupcakes out of the oven and puts another batch in. Light pink, huh? That's one way to, you know, state your preferences. Using the food coloring, I dye the icing, I set aside black. Why'd you do that? For the kanji characters? Oh, okay. Finish up mixing the food coloring and then give it to me. Why? I'm gonna put it in the frosting bag, duh. She gestures towards the small plastic bag she brought with her. Alright. I quickly finish mixing in the food coloring and hand Natsuki the bowl. She scoops the icing into a bag and ties a thin nozzle around the end. Put this to the side for now. We still need to frost the cupcakes before we can add the characters. Speaking of which, Natsuki brings out the tray of cupcakes over the table. Let's get started. Alright, also no fire alarm this time. This is going... You know, in some regards it's going a lot better than previously. In other regards, well, we didn't advance quite as far. We're all done. We both look triumphantly over the frosted trays of cupcakes. Yeah, they look pretty cute. Kinda fitting, seeing you're the one who made them. Oh, what's that supposed to mean? Oh please, we're not at school, it's not like anyone's judging you. Just admit that you're cute. I'm not cute! Fine, fine, whatever you say. Just focus on doing the characters? Jeez. Here, let me show you how to do it. Natsuki quickly teaches me how to use the frosting bags, and we quickly get to work. Finally! Yeah, finally. Took us longer than we expected, but we finally finished and placed them neatly in rows on trays. That was fun, I guess. What, you didn't have fun? No, I did. I just didn't expect it to take that long. It wouldn't have taken that long if we didn't have to go to the store. I said I'm sorry. Yeah. I just wish we'd had more time so we could read some manga or something. But I really have to get back home. My dad's making dinner for tonight. Ah, lucky. I'm on my own for dinner tonight. Frankly, I'm not really that hungry. I might just skip it. No! Natsuki's sudden outburst shocks me. I stare at her in disbelief. I mean, you shouldn't do that. You should always appreciate every meal you get. Yes, I know, because you're malnourished. I know you appreciate the food you get. Wow, dinner must be really important to you. More than you can imagine. Growing up, we'd only really have family dinner when everyone was home. Considering how, you know, both my parents worked a lot, it was a rare occurrence. Especially now. Natsuki and I sit in an awkward silence before she starts for her break. I should get going. Right, I'll walk you out. Natsuki collects her things and I walk her outside. Hey Jeff, yes, this is our mod. It's called Doki Doki Blue Skies. So we're currently in Act 1, which is kind of a retelling of the original game, but this mod actually continues past the festival. So there's gonna be a lot more stuff. And I already finished the Yuri route and I'm currently working on Natsuki. So there's that. Also there's multiple endings for each character, a good one and a bad one. Well, with Yuri I kind of messed up on my first try. I really hope that I can get Natsuki on my first try without fucking everything up. So yeah. Felt like the afternoon flew by too quickly. However, it was nice spending time with her. It was an opportunity to get to know her better. Well, guess I'll see you then. It was fun cooking with you. Yeah, we should do it again sometime. Huh? I'm just saying, if you ever need to bake something, I'd be glad to help. That's... Natsuki steps closer and looks up at me. Oh, she's actually approaching me. Oh, you're approaching me? Instead of going home for dinner, you're coming right at me. Her expression is tense, as if she's trying to hide her emotions. Really nice of you. I open my mouth to say something, but Natsuki quickly pulls away. I gotta go. Bye. Bye. Natsuki quickly rushes off, and I'm left alone. Guess I'd better get to cleaning. So, festival time. And we all know this festival is gonna be a journey. It's gonna be a trip. Here we go. It's the day of the festival. The preparations for the event should be nearly complete, given all the work everyone's put into over the weekend. I managed to carry all the cupcakes myself by carefully stacking 4 trays in a box. Natsuki's really texting up a storm, but I can't respond thanks to my hands being full. I smile, putting my phone away. Her personality even shows through her texts. Funnily enough, I probably feel the same way as Natsuki about the event. I'm more excited for it to be over so I can spend more time with Natsuki at the festival. But knowing Monika, I'm sure the event will be great too. It won't. It won't be. It's been a while though. Where's Sayori? We're meant to walk together, but she's late again. I don't want to leave her behind, but if she takes much longer, I'm going to be late for school. More time passes. There's going to be a moment of decision soon if she doesn't arrive. Just as I'm getting ready to leave, I finally spot her, slowly making her way down the street. She's carrying a large sack in her hands, and I'm surprised she isn't running over to me. Isn't she aware of how late she is? Sayori, where have you been? We could have been late for school. I know. Sorry. I, overslept again? Or couldn't decide what to have for breakfast again. She immediately pouts. You're such a meanie sometimes. You know, my teasing is all in good fun, right? She mumbled something under her breath. Of course. Looks like she's back to her normal self again. A definite relief. I felt a little bit guilty about not spending Sunday with her, but then again, it was probably wise to give her space. Then again, Natsuki also needed help. I point to the sack she's carrying, which contains an assortment of colorful little gift bags. Ah, are those the gift bags you were working on over the weekend? Yep, I managed to get everything we need. Candy, quotes, and bookmarks. It was a lot of fun. Although, it was kind of hard to stop myself from eating all the sweets. And did you manage it? Heh, people won't notice if a sweet or two go missing, right? I can't help but laugh. That's such a Sayori thing to say and do. I'm glad you're feeling better today, Sayori. I'm sorry if it was a bit too invasive on Friday. I just worry a lot, that's all. It's okay, Code. It really is. It's sweet that you were concerned. But yeah, I'm fine. It was just a little rain cloud. Although I'm kinda nervous for the festival. Honestly, I don't blame you for that. It's kinda nerve-wracking, isn't it? I mean, I know how much it means to Monika, but at the same time, I didn't really realize how intimidating reciting poetry to a bunch of strangers can be. Yeah, I was all for it back in the club room, but now that the actual day is here. She looks a little nervous. I reach over and give her a squeeze on the shoulder. We'll be fine, don't worry. I know how much you like poetry, plus your poems are great. I just hope my own performance is up to standard. Oh, don't be silly, Code. I love your poem, I just know it. I chuckle, admiring the definite optimism that really makes Sayori, well, Sayori. Guess we'll find out. By the way, are you doing anything after the festival? Anything fun? Nope, I haven't really planned that far ahead. I am not great at doing that anyway. I'm kinda hoping we finish early so I can have the rest of the day off, to be honest. So what you're really saying is you just want to go home and sleep, right? Oh, look at how many students there are. How many clubs are having their own little event today? What a tactical change of topic that was. Our school is inside, there's a lot of students milling around. It's a little strange to think that there's so many fellow students around, yet I've still been feeling so lonely. Or at least before joining the literature club. Times like these make me grateful that Sayori told me about it in the first place. I don't know, probably quite a few. By the way, Sayori. What's up, Code? I just wanted to say, well, no matter how this festival goes, I'm really grateful that you told me about the club and let me join. I've had a lot of fun so far. Also, I'm gonna ask this right now. I know that this is dialogue we've experienced before. I've heard it before. I can see that the skip button is also available and on top of that, so I definitely know it's new. Should I just skip ahead a bit? To just, you know, get back to actual real stuff and speed on through the rest of Act 1 as fast as possible. Well, up until we make new decisions, like siding with Natsuki. I'm gonna keep going for regularly for now, but if any of you are fine with me speeding it up, then I'd be glad to do that. I've had a lot of fun so far. I scratched the back of my head nervously as Sayori looks curiously at me. I've never been good at expressing myself, and it probably shows. I guess what I'm trying to say is, thank you. It's been so fun being able to spend time with you again, too. It really takes me back. You don't have to thank me for anything, silly. I've enjoyed it too. After all, it would be lovely if things could go back to how they used to. How they used to? What do you mean? Oh, nothing. Strange choice of words. What could she mean by this? As we enter the courtyard and make our way to our meeting room, she breaks the silence by giggling. Something funny? I've just thought about a way to see one of Natsuki's cupcakes without her realizing. Are you sure that's a good idea? Natsuki might be little, but you know better than I do that she can get really fiery. Oh, don't worry about her. She might seem a bit mean on the outside, but she's harmless. Don't let her fool you. Well, I'd rather her than me. Hello, Monica. I was waiting for you. Okay. Nope, I need to hydrate first. Alright, here we go. Code. Oh, it's still hard. There are times when I can absolutely nail her voice, and then there's these times when I absolutely can't nail her voice. I don't know why. Well, let's try anyway. Code, Sayori. Code, Sayori. It's good to see you again. Do you want to come and give me a hand? Monica is placing little booklets on each of the desks in the classroom. There must be one she's prepared that has of the poems we're performing. In the end, I found a random poem online that I thought Monica would like and submitted it. So that's the one I'll be performing. You know what? Let's skip ahead a little bit, so I need to not do Monica's voice too much. There we go. I could have read that a little bit because we were already so close to new text. Alright. Put down the trays of cupcakes I'm holding and grab one by the one of the pamphlets laid out on the desk. Oh, it was just that one line, but you know what I mean. Here we go. Now we're getting back into new stuff because Natsuki is here. Just then Natsuki bursts into the room, her school bag swinging wildly. Yuri trails in behind her, carrying a rolled up banner and a large duffel bag. Alright, it's festival time? Wow, you guys got here before me? I thought I was pretty early. I am sorry for being the last one here. I'm glad that some preparations is already underway though. It should take less time to set everything up this way. Yeah, let's work hard together, everyone. Code? I jump at the sudden outburst. Yes? Where are the cupcakes? Don't tell me you forgot them. Is it normal to be scared by a tiny underclassman girl? I mentally shake myself. I really gotta get it together. Relax, they're right here. Just hold on a minute. I step over to where I put the box of cupcakes and begin unpacking the trays. Don't lay them out so messily. Quite the bossy little princess, eh? Then if you wouldn't mind, Sayori, can you help me with these? Yuri gestures at her bag, to which Sayori nods cheerfully. I help Natsuki with the cupcakes while Yuri and Sayori start putting up decorations. Meanwhile, Monika continues putting down pamphlets. It isn't long before Natsuki has carefully rearranged the cupcakes in a neat formation. Looks really good if I do say so myself. I'd have to agree. We make a pretty good team. Yeah, hey Code, next time we do something like this, I can carry some trays too. Really? You can? Can you? Can you? That's totally fine with me. My arms are longer too after all, so I can carry more. Still, we're a team, aren't we? I gotta carry my weight too. I'm not some helpless damsel in distress, you know? Or a helpless shoujo manga heroine? Alright, mister, can it? As I laugh, I glance over at Sayori and Yuri. They've put up a banner with an inspirational quote written on a colorful gradient of the colors of the sky. A good writer possesses not only his own spirit, but also the spirit of his friends. That's a quote by the German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche. He's had some very interesting thoughts, although there are some that I don't quite agree with. Oh, I think I've heard of him. As usual, Yuri outclasses me with her intellect. It means that they've also hung up a curtain of origami paper. It seems that they've also hung up a curtain of origami paper tied to ribbons on the doorway. Upon close inspection, each paper has a different kanji character written on it. Hey, it looks like you did something similar to Natsuki with your kanji curtain. Oh, is that so? I'll have to take a look at what she's done after I finish setting up. She gestures to a few candles and a wooden cylinder-shaped object. You said that's essential oils. You said that's an essential oils diffuser. It's for aromatherapy. One of my favorite contributions to a positive atmosphere. Huh. I'm excited to see how it works later. Oh well, it won't. Looks like all the preparations are almost finished now. Feel like there's something missing though. Suddenly I notice a large bag sitting foreignly by itself to the side. Alright, that's Sayori's, yep. This part we already know. Alright, it's festival time. You know what, I'm curious, should I be reading the festival stuff again? Because it's basically just bad memories at this point. So, you know what, I am gonna start reading from the first line that's not said by Monika. Won't be too bad if I skip some stuff, because after all, you know, I've already read it. Okay, so Yuri, Natsuki, Yuri and I head off to settle down in the foremost desk, having the seat at the end for Monika. She stands there, alone, yet still radiating confidence. After flashing a smile and a wink at us, she begins. Each word is crystal clear and exudes emotion. Somehow her recitation is even better than it was only a few days ago. She must have practiced hard to achieve perfection. The classroom is silent at first, drinking in her words. After a few moments, however, some whispering starts up in the back of the classroom. Here we go, it begins, guys. We've been waiting for this. Hooray! People are pieces of shit, who would have guessed? I mean, so shocking, right, guys? Oh my god. Yeah. So much for that. Alright. After a few moments, however, some whispering starts up. Yep. I guess that's inevitable, but it still doesn't make it feel any less annoying. I exchange a look with Natsuki, who rolls her eyes at the disruptions. Sayori pats my hand and gives me an encouraging smile. She's comforting as always. As Natsuki's poem progresses, as Monika's poem progresses, more and more people wander in. Normally this would be a good thing, but they're making a lot of noise. Thankfully, they simmer down once they realize Monika is speaking, but the damage has already been done. She reaches the end of her poem, the last few words resonating in the classroom. A round of applause fills the room and Monika beams at everyone, patiently waiting for them to finish.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening, everyone. I hope you enjoyed my poem and that it gave you some flavor of what this club is like. For the newcomers, welcome. We're just in the midst of showing you all our poems.
For the benefit of those who have just joined, she quickly reintroduces everyone.
Anyway, up next is Natsuki. Take it away.
Natsuki stumbles slightly as she makes her way to the front of the class. I guess the nerves are getting to her. It doesn't help that someone sniggers, causing her to turn and glare at them. Natsuki seems to notice too, Sayori seems to notice too, as she hastens to shoot Natsuki a reassuring smile. Natsuki stands at the front of the classroom, with her poem in hand, slight traces of irritation still visible on her face. Anyway, so my poem's called Jump? She takes a deep breath and begins her recital. Just as I was hoping, she's able to interject her trademark bouncy style into the performance, bringing the words to life. She doesn't quite radiate the confidence Monika did, but her unique style shines through, giving the poem a flow and rhythm. While simple, it's effective. My head sings as I start picking up on the newcomers having their own conversations in the back of the room. I'm hit with a surge of anger. How can they be so inconsiderate? It's clear that they aren't paying any attention, and from the pause and change in Natsuki's tone, she's clearly picked up on it as well. Why can't they just save their stupid, selfish conversations for after our performance? I don't know. Her poem comes to an end, but unlike with Monika's, there's a slight awkward moment of silence. Once again, there's a round of applause, but it's clear that the audience's engagement isn't quite as strong.
Great performance, Natsuki. I really like the rhythm of that poem.
Natsuki forces a smile and makes her way back to the seat. It's clear that she's upset.
Anyway, Vice President Sayori is next to perform.
Hi everyone, I hope you like my poem. She cheerily skips up to the front, poem in hand. As she turns to face us, she looks a little nervous, fidgeting slightly. Sorry, I'm a little bit nervous.
It's okay. It's okay, Sayori. Just remember that we've practiced. I've got full faith in you.
Yeah, you've got this. This one's called My Meadow. She begins her poem. Her soft voice guides us through the recital, and there's a remarkable contrast between her cheerful inflections and the more bittersweet nature of the words. Out of the corner of my eye, I notice people casually flicking cupcake wrappers onto the floor, along with candy wrappers lying on the tables. Where still, the talking is getting louder and more noticeable. Monika looks around at the perpetrators, frowning at them. One of the students lets out a long yawn, making absolutely no effort to hide it. Another student picks up one of the quotes and nudges their friend. They both frown and laugh at the message. I get the horrible feeling it's more mocking kind of laugh. There we go. There's the slight distortion in the music coming in now. The slight notes that just feel slightly off. At this point, I'm seeing red. If we weren't in school, I would have punched those inconsiderate pricks by now. No one should be this rude to Sayori. She's probably the sweetest person I've ever met. Despite the now obvious disruptions, she's still trying her best and is making a real effort to continue. To her credit, her performance is still commendable. She manages to work with the contrast of her enunciation against the words in her favor. It adds an interesting depth to the poem. I'd love to see more of this side of her. She brings her performance to a close, hands shaking slightly.
Lovely poem, Sayori. You really brought that one to life.
Thank you! Something's off with her voice, but... oh, it's like she was on the Friday. Monika stands up, turning to address everyone in the room.
Just a polite reminder that it would be much appreciated if everyone could give a poet some respect while they're performing.
Monika looks stern, while Natsuki looks positively furious.
Thank you. Now the stage is all yours, Yuri.
Yuri's looking terrified at this point. Sayori gives her a reassuring squeeze, and I lean over, whispering into her ear. You've got this, Yuri. Just pretend like it's only me, Natsuki, Sayori, and Monika.
I can't do this, Code.
Yes, you can. I believe in you. I've seen how passionate you can become when you talk about Portrait of Markov. Have we, though? We haven't really discussed that book too much, have we? After we barely spent any time with Yuri, let's just be honest here. I mean, she did still give me the book, right? Did she? I think she did. But there was pretty much no room for discussing it. I don't think we even started reading it at any point because we were so busy with reading manga with Natsuki. Oh well, just lie to her face, I guess. I loved that. I loved seeing that side of you. Besides, like you said, this club could be the perfect place for any of these people. We just don't know it yet. She swallows nervously, nodding at my words.
Okay, thank you.
She rises to her feet, poem clasped firmly to her chest and avoiding eye contact with everyone as she walks up. Eyes flick up to glance at the classroom when she gets on stage, although she quickly ducks her head back down to look at her poem on the podium.
This poem is titled After Image of a Crimson Eye.
Her voice quivers as she starts, but unlike her recitation a few days ago, the meek and trembling version of Yuri remains well into the poem. She determinedly forges ahead, but I can tell that she's not enjoying it in the slightest. The rest of the classroom, momentarily subdued by Monika's words, soon begins to grow louder again. After a few lines of her poem, they are even more unruly than before. The crinkling of rappers fills the air, and at a few points Yuri is almost drowned out by the others' voices. I catch a few people getting up and leaving the classroom, and by the slight hitch in her voice, it seems that Yuri's seen them as well. Her eyes stay glued to her poem now, and it looks like she's trying her hardest to ignore everyone. One boy quietly wolf whistles at Yuri, causing her to jump up and lower her head even more. She's practically shaking like a leaf. That is absolutely disgusting behavior. And I open my mouth to say something. Suddenly Natsuki stands up, a loud scraping noise from her pushing away the desk drawing the attention of the students. Can you all just shut up? I'm really freaking sick of this. How can you guys be so rude? We're trying our best to show you something amazing here, and you're just going to stomp all over our hard work like that? Unbelievable. I can't even understand how people can be this arrogant and just this plain terrible. I didn't want to interrupt you, Yuri, but I can't stand it anymore. You idiots might as well leave if you aren't going to pretend to pay attention. That's complete silence for a beat. Right, this guy only appeared once, so naturally I have no clue what sort of voice I gave him. But I know it was kind of douchey. Only came for the food anyway. Let's go, guys. That sounded... I mean, it was kind of in a similar vein to Natsuki, just even more horrible. Not to say that Natsuki is horrible, I just mean that my voice for her isn't the best. But I'm trying, okay? I'm really trying. Once this boy speaks up and begins to lead his friends away, one by one more students start to follow them out the door. I throw a panicked look over to Monika, who's holding a strange, stiff expression on her face. Looks like she's struggling to stay calm for everyone. After a few moments, there's barely anyone left. Yuri, meanwhile, quietly begins speaking again, but her voice is barely audible. She's just stifling... It's just a stifling silence accompanying her words. When she finishes, a weak smattering of applause sounds from the few who are left. She unsteadily steps down from the stage, a blank look on her face. She won't look at any of us either. I'm worried about her.
Okay.
Monika's voice cracks as she speaks up. She's still trying her best to see us through this. I don't think any of us could have predicted that it would turn out this way.
Thank you, Yuri. You did wonderfully. I'm sincerely sorry for all the disruptions and sheer arrogance you had to endure. Those kinds of people really are the worst. To those who are left, I want to thank you for staying and apologize as well. But this is definitely not a normal occurrence for the literature club, I assure you. Well, let's finish off with Code then.
With a heavy heart, I swiftly get up and walk onto the stage. When I get to the podium, I am appalled by the sight of the classroom. Candy and cupcake wrappers are strewn across the floor, and quote cards are tossed about, many of the cards now featuring shoe prints all over the words. The remnants of goodie bags are left ripped apart across the desk. Even the kanji curtain looks tangled up and messy. The only students left are the ones who waved to Monica at the beginning. This is what Yuri had to see while reciting her poem. No wonder she didn't want to look up and face these people. Can I really do this now? How were the others able to finish their poems? I look at the clock. Only 10:20. Has it really only been 20 minutes? Well, for me it has been 50 minutes since the beginning of the stream. Taking a shaky breath, I begin to speak. Hi, everyone. I'd like to take a second to apologize as well, both to those checking out the club today and to those who are already in it. But despite everything that's happened, I can say that I'm glad I joined since I got to meet so many amazing people. I believe that you guys will love it just as much as I did too. Anyhow, I hope that you'll all enjoy Acquainted with the Night. I start reading and am struck once again by the beauty of the poem. The loneliness and isolation conveyed so accurately. I can relate to a lot of these feelings. It won't be as good as the others. I won't be as good as the others at reciting, but I can only hope that I'll be able to do the poem justice. Thoughts of doing both the poet and the club proud strengthen my spirit as I manage to fight through the depressing mood. The quiet of the classroom suits the lines of the poem well, and my recital seems to fly by rather quickly.
Excellent performance, Code. What a great way to round off the event.
As I step down from the stage, Monica stands up and addresses the room.
Thank you all for coming and staying. I truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. That's it for the scheduled recitations, but you guys are free to stay and hang out if you want.
There's an awkward silence for a few moments, and the remaining students start to stand up. Alright, Shiori. Prepare for cringe, guys. Prepare for cringe. This is gonna be so cringy. It's been a while since I've seen Shiori, and I'm following my rules. Do a different voice for her every single time. And now, you know what? I think I can maybe hang on. Yeah, I think that's a pretty basic way to do it.
Hey, Monica. Oh, and you too, Code. I didn't think you were in this club.
The girl standing before us is actually my homeroom's class representative, Shiori. Given that both she and Monica are class reps, they're probably friends. Yeah, I only just joined about a week ago or so.
Ah, I see.
Yup.
Hey, the way you guys are treated was seriously awful.
It's fine, thanks for staying.
Either way, I'm sorry about everything, Monica. I'll check out the club sometime.
She gives us a small missionary smile. And I'm torn between wondering whether everyone's pitying us or sympathizing with us. They all start to file out of the classroom after a few more goodbyes. Monica keeps a strained smile plastered on her face. Meanwhile, Yuri has had her head buried in her arms on the desk. In contrast, Natsuki is staring straight ahead, gritting her teeth, and Sayori looks down at her desk, picking at a spot on the varnished wood. To say there was tension in the air would be a massive understatement. A silence in the room, made worse by the sense of awkwardness. No one knows what to say. No one expected the festival to end this way, and the impact is hitting us all. Well, shit. So that could have gone better. My attempt at humor falls flat, and I immediately regret speaking. Natsuki gives me a dirty look, but Sayori smiles wanly. Meanwhile, it looks like Monica's face has finally fallen.
I don't understand. Where did we go so wrong, guys? We spent so long preparing for this, and after all our efforts.
For the first time, that outgoing confidence Monica always seemed to radiate has snuffed out. She clearly cared a lot about this event, and I feel awful for her. I know I don't get it either. I thought you guys all did such a good job as well. The decorations, the recitals. I'm sorry, Monica.
Don't worry about it, Code. It's not your fault anyway.
She smiles weakly at me. Glancing around, I noticed that Yuri and Natsuki seem particularly upset, with Yuri looking absolutely dejected and Natsuki steaming mad. This is your fault, Monica? I told you this was a stupid idea. None of us were... None of us were even that comfortable with doing it in the first place. Now look where it's landed us.
Excuse me, my fault. You all agreed to this performance. Pardon me for thinking that it actually go well. What's so wrong about that?
We only agreed to do it because we felt like you were forcing us. I was really hoping this wouldn't happen given everyone's low moods. An argument is the last thing we need.
I didn't force anyone, Natsuki. You know how much this club means to me. I was just excited to show what we have for the rest of the school.
Yeah, because that was such a good idea, wasn't it?
I'm really starting to get sick of your constant sarcasm, you know. Why can't you just try being positive for once in your life?
Gee, it's funny you should say that, because I'm really starting to get sick of your self-righteous know-it-all attitude. We told you this was a bad idea, but no. You just had to insist on this, even though no one was happy with it.
It was for a reason. Look at how much Code enjoys it here. Is it really so unreasonable to think that we could have found someone like him? Or is it just too positive for you to even fathom?
So, I apologize, by the way. I feel like I was kind of going slightly more towards the Yuri voice there. Also, give me one moment. I need to check something real quick. Bam, bam, bam. Nope. I know you can still hear me. I didn't turn off audio this time despite disappearing. I just want to... There it is. And... I'm back. You missed me? I was gone for a long time, I know. You all missed me so much. Well, but that's neither here nor there, because we still have more stuff to do here. This is awful. The other students were bad enough, but now Monika and Natsuki are going at each other's throats. Look how badly everyone was humiliated. How inconsiderate all of those... She struggles for a moment, her anger inhibiting her ability to speak. Those assholes were to all of us. They didn't give a damn about anything we had to say. What did that one prick say? He was only here for the food? Yeah, he did say that. All that hard work just for what? Nothing. She angrily kicks one of the desks. The loud noise jolts Yuri, who looks up with tears in her eyes.
Please, Natsuki, can you calm down?
Don't tell me you're taking her side, Yuri. You had to experience the worst of it. I don't get why you're not mad either.
Natsuki, there's no point in being angry at Monika. She didn't want this to happen. She had no idea people would react this way. It's bad enough that the students were rude, but I really don't like fighting inside the club by itself.
Yeah, but if Monika just listened to us... When we said we weren't comfortable with the whole idea, this would never have happened. Monika sighs. This is the kind of conflict she generally leaves for Sayori to deal with. But in this case, Sayori looks too distraught to intervene.
Look, what you're not understanding is that sometimes you just have to take risks. Sure, this didn't go so well, but there was always a chance it would have ended like this. It wouldn't have ended like this, and we could have had a new member.
She turns to me. Alright, you know what I'm gonna do? Because I've learned from my mistakes while hanging out with Yuri. I definitely am gonna side with Natsuki here. But from what I've learned with Yuri, I know that siding with the person you're going after is not always the right choice. Sometimes you have to actually push them. And in this case, I feel like I'm gonna need to come back to the spot later on, and this will save me some time. Alright. She turns to me.
I mean, you of all people can understand that the best right code. You made the choice to come here. Look how much you enjoy it.
Oh, don't you try and suck up to him, Monika. Face it, you never listen to us, your club members, or take our opinions into account. Tell me I'm not alone in thinking that, Code? Oh great, now I have to choose a side. I really don't want to do this. I desperately look at Yuri and Sayori, but both look too upset to want to get involved. So I guess that's gonna be... Actually, I was worried that there wasn't gonna be a text box for this choice, but in this case, that makes it even easier. Alright. So, as I've said, I'm gonna suck up to Natsuki as much as possible. That means agreeing with her here. So let's do it. Natsuki, come on. I really do hate taking sides like this. Monika's the president though, so I hope she won't take this personally. Monika, believe me when I say that I know this club means a lot to you. I've only been here for a few days and I can already see that. In fact, it means a lot to all of us. Every one of us cared so much for the club that we were able to soldier on and keep performing despite all the crap we got. But at the same time, perhaps Natsuki has a point. You are clearly the most enthusiastic about this festival out of everyone here. She sighs, and it's clear that she's frustrated. It wouldn't surprise me if she was disappointed in us either.
Well, pardon me for wanting the club to do well. Why was everyone so against it? I didn't even force any of you. You all agreed on your own accords. I thought you'd use the weekend to practice. That should have been plenty of time.
The way you pushed us into it, it felt like we didn't have a choice.
You guys didn't have to agree. Do you not know how to stand up for yourselves?
Monika, you know how it is. It's hard enough as it is to go against your friends. But when your friend has such high expectations for everything on top of that, it's just easy to get swept up in trying to keep everyone happy. And on top of that, not everyone here is as outspoken as you. Alright, at least, you know, I was worried about just being a douche, but at least I'm going about this a calm way. Just being nice. And not just like, yeah, you're right, this was a horrible idea. I'm just like, yeah, I agree. I understand that you were trying to do a good thing, but it was kind of, you know, you were kind of strong-arming us here. Exactly.
But that's not the point. Anyhow, you all did fine in your first recitations during our club meeting. Everything should have gone well. It's just that we never could have expected that people would act this way. If the event had been a success, you can bet that this conversation wouldn't be happening right now.
Of course it wouldn't be happening right now, because there would have been nothing to destroy our moods so much. Well, if we never decided to do anything for the festival, then we wouldn't have to worry about this crap anyway.
But we had to do something for the festival. Do you just want the club to remain stagnant forever? Is this place just supposed to be some hangout for 5 people?
There's a fierce glint in those green eyes now, and I'm almost afraid of speaking up.
It seems like I'm the only one here who actually wants this club to do well. The only one who strives for greater heights. And how is anyone ever going to see how amazing what we built is if we never show it to anyone?
What's wrong with the club being small? I'd rather have a few people who really care than a ton of idiots who are only here because of your popularity. Quantity is more important than quality, after all. I'm sure the others would agree on that front as well. Suddenly Monika turns to face me. I won't lie, it's scary having to see the full force of the normally cool-headed diplomatic leader's temper.
Code, with all due respect, you haven't even been here for a week. How would you, of all people, know what the other members want?
Monika, Code only means well. Sorry, looks like she's about to say more, but one withering look from Monika stops her in her tracks.
And I'm sure that many villains throughout history only meant well too.
Wow! Apparently now I'm a super villain. No, just a regular villain. But would this be imagine a super villain origin story where just like, I was preparing for a school festival and turned out shit. So now I want to rule over the world with the power of poetry. Now you're just being unfair?
No, you know what's really unfair? What's unfair is the fact that I'm the one who always has to pick up the slack. Always has to pick up the slack. I'm the one who has to take the blame for all the mistakes. You think it's easy, having to live up to everyone's expectations?
No, it's not. It's not.
Although I guess it's too much for you to understand, Natsuki. After all, you always heap the blame onto others and criticize everyone but yourself. Why don't you do some introspection for once in your life? Then you might be able to see why you barely have any friends.
There's silence for a moment, a silence that lengthens into impossibly long minutes. I look toward Yuri and Sayori for help, but both look understandably shocked by Monika's words. Natsuki's face has grown red, and it looks like she's starting to tear up, despite her best attempts at keeping up a hostile look. Monika, on the other hand, has turned away so that I can't see her face. She probably knows she's gone a little bit too far. Yuri, Sayori, and I exchange a series of looks and expressions as the silence stretches out. There's a veritable game of eyebrow charades going on between the three of us. Like that. None of us know what to say or how to break the silence, but we all know that someone has to. I'm relieved that I have the two of them to rely on here, though. They had to experience the disaster that the festival was too. And yet they're still fighting through their own emotions to try to keep the club together. The only sounds right now are the small sniffling noises coming from Natsuki. The longer the silence stretches, the harder it's going to be to break it. Somehow the three of us managed to soundlessly decide that it should be me to speak up. Of course. But before I can do so, we're surprised by Monika finally interrupting the silence with a sigh. Oh, you're actually gonna apologize now.
I shouldn't have said that. I was looking back on what I said, and, well, if someone had said those things about me, I'd be upset, to say the least. The pressure just finally broke me, I guess. I really do have tons of things going on in my life. But that doesn't excuse my actions. I shouldn't assume things about your lives when I have no idea what struggles you're going through either. I didn't expect you to forgive me anytime soon, but just know that I'm sorry.
Monika has still turned away, but Sayori shoots me a hopeful look. I think it's safe to say that words were said that no one really intended. Tensions were obviously running high after the disaster that the festival turned out to be, and I guess everything just boiled over in the argument. I agree, and just goes to show how much we all care about the club and each other. If we didn't care, we wouldn't be feeling so horrible. Monika, you're really good at organizing these kinds of things, so I can really see why you wanted it to succeed the way you did. It's only normal. But you have to remember that we all chose to come here for a reason, and that's because we enjoy it here. We really do care. I'm sorry if it seemed like we're blaming you for everything going wrong, because it's definitely no one's fault. Monika starts to slowly turn back to face us. But you have to admit that you were kind of harsh to Natsuki. She stops moving, causing Sayori to speed on through her speech. Anyway, I'm so glad that you apologized to Natsuki in the end, because we're all friends here and we all need to stick together. We should be fighting when we hit obstacles. We should be supporting each other. So I hope that you can find it in your heart to forgive her, Natsuki, even though she said some really mean things to you. And hopefully we can move on from this and become closer than ever. I couldn't have said it better myself. Yes, I believe that the best thing we can do right now is try to forgive each other and learn from this experience. Monika faces us now, looking at each of us in the eye. Natsuki misses her gaze, still looking down at the ground with tear-streaked cheeks.
You guys, thank you for being the best club members I could ever wish for. Now that I've thought about it, it really is me who's the wrong here, huh? I should have accepted that you guys weren't quite as into the festival idea as I was. It was wrong of me to put you into something you weren't comfortable with.
Well, that's all said and done now, so no use crying over spilled milk, right?
good president wouldn't have pressured their people into doing this. Looking back, how could I have been so selfish and blind? Everyone has a momentary lapse of judgment, and you shouldn't blame yourself for that. I'm with Yuri on that. After all, you made this lovely club for all of us, and we really owe it to you for that. And Natsuki, I'm truly sorry for what I said. I was just jumping to conclusions and making false assumptions. Plus, we're all your friends, although I wouldn't blame you if you don't want to be my friend anymore.
We all wait with bated breath for Natsuki's answer. I exchange nervous glances with Yuri and Sayori, the latter of the two actually looking like she's holding her breath. Also, previous time when I agreed with Monika actually ended up running away because Natsuki insulted her, right? Wasn't that what happened? So, yeah. So I don't have to go run after Monika this time. Natsuki quickly wipes the tears off her face with her sleeves. She looks smaller than ever, and so alone. Makes me want to protect her more than ever. Must protect. Whatever, it's fine. The only thing I ask... She looks down at the floor, then to her right, then at me, then at the ceiling. It's as if she's hoping for the right words to appear in front of her. The only thing I want is for us to stop fighting. I come to this club to get away from all the junk. I don't want things to be ruined. So yeah, if it'll make things go back to normal, I'll forgive you. Sayori gives a little hop in excitement when Natsuki says that, and I can't help but sigh in relief as well. Monika smiles gently at Natsuki, who finally meets her eyes.
Thank you for putting the club above your own feelings, Natsuki.
Yeah, I don't think I'm wrong in saying that we all appreciate it.
You guys should hug it out! I get that it must have been a lot to say that, so I'm truly grateful for that.
Monika reaches out to hug Natsuki, but the smaller girl flinches away.
I'm sorry, I should have known that it'd be too soon.
No, well, it's fine. Natsuki makes an attempt at smiling at Monika.
It may take some time for reconciliation to be finished with, but I'm happy that everyone is trying their best.
Yeah, reconsideration can take a long time.
No, that's not quite right.
Well, close enough. And with that, the spell holding us all in place seems to have been broken. Any of you staying to check out the rest of the festival?
No, I'm feeling quite exhausted after all the emotional stress we've just had to endure.
Me too. All I want to do right now is take a long nap.
Same here, honestly.
We still have to clean up the classroom, though.
We all grimly turn to face the mess that the visitors have left behind. I'm really not looking forward to cleaning that up.
Do we have to?
Sayori, you don't want to betray our club advisor's trust now, do you?
Why are you always right, Yuri?
Everyone chuckles a bit, with even Natsuki betraying a smile on her face. Betraying? Why betraying?
I'm sure that it's less work than it looks, so I think it's fine if some of us leave early. Hey Code, how about you walk Natsuki home for a change? I'm sure that Sayori's sick of your company by now.
It's sweet of Monika to let Natsuki off the hook like that, and in such a casual way too. This way, it doesn't look like she's babying her or anything.
Hey, no fair! I want to go home too!
Sayori pretends to pout for a bit, but quickly regains a smile on her face.
Come on guys, the faster we get to work, the faster we get to go home.
Alright, so... no need to run after Monika. We just stayed in the club room this time. No one ran away. We didn't need to look after anyone. So, Natsuki is definitely making it easier for us. After exchanging goodbyes, I walk out the classroom with Natsuki. It's surreal to hear the sounds of chatter and laughter floating towards us from the rest of the festival after everything that just took place. A silence falls between us. I'm not quite sure whether I should try to cheer her up or just leave her alone with her thoughts. Well, with Yuri it's best to leave her alone with her thoughts, but I know that Natsuki isn't too comfortable with silence. Well, not as much as Yuri anyway. I spot a vending machine at the end of the hall and decide on the former. Here, do you want a snack? A little sugar always helps cheer me up when I feel down. Sure, I guess. What do you want? Doesn't really matter, but chocolate's pretty good. I approach the vending machine, digging change out of my pockets. Within a few moments, a solid thunk sounds from the bottom of the machine. I hand her a bar of chocolate. I just picked one of my favorites, so I hope we have similar tastes. Speaking of chocolates, today I actually prepared a bit more. A bit more than just water. You know, just get some nice snacks and hang on a second. You know, just a little bit of extra stuff. Because it's nice to have some chocolates every once in a while, right? Alright. White chocolate, not bad. Ooh, I see another fan of white chocolate. So what I've heard is that most people either love it or hate it. Personally, I like white chocolate, but on its own, it's pretty meh. It's not the best. When it comes to just chocolate on its own, then I far prefer just basic milk chocolate. Just, you know, the basic stuff, just milk chocolate. But overall, white chocolate is just very amazing when combined with other stuff. I mean, chocolate overall is amazing when combined with other stuff, but white chocolate, that's where it's at. It's really not bad. I don't know why so many people hate it, honestly. Personally, I'm not too much of a fan of dark chocolate. I don't know why, it's just not really my thing. So yeah, milk chocolate and white chocolate, absolutely amazing. Well, maybe milk chocolate a bit more than white chocolate, to be honest, as I've said. I feel like milk chocolate is far better to be, if you want to just eat chocolates on their own. But yeah, dark chocolate, just, yeah, no. Well, I'm gonna be prepared to face a big attack by dark chocolate lovers now. So go ahead, show me what you got. Does that mean she likes it? I watch as she carefully places the snack into her bag. You're not gonna eat it? My question seems to startle Natsuki, and I feel a little bad when she jumps a bit. I guess she's still feeling a little shaky. No, I kind of like to savor things in my own time. Not a bad idea. I tend to blow through my snacks and stuff myself. I guess I like to try to make things last as long as possible. That's pretty understandable. Of that, another silence falls over us, but this time, it's a comfortable silence. We walk together side by side in a bubble of companionship that seems to include just the two of us, and that makes the festival a distant reality. It isn't until we reach the school entrance that I break the silence again. Which way are you headed? I'm going this way. I'm going that way. I point to my left, causing Natsuki to give me a wry smile. I'm going the opposite direction? Oh. Well, I guess I'll see you tomorrow then. Code? Huh? It's okay if I keep coming to the club, right? Well, what do you mean? Of course you can. I mean, we're all going to be expecting you back there. Never mind. See ya. With that, she whirls around and darts away, leaving behind nothing but confusion in the air. Well, I guess I'll ask her about it tomorrow, but for now, it's time to make the trek home. Although, now that I think about it, there's nothing for me to back home except anime and video games. Oh yeah. And that's really not that bad. It's a nice distraction at least. Probably spend tonight stewing over that question then. Right. Morning already. I groan as I fumble for the alarm clock. So, we should be entering Act 2 now, right? Man, I just feel like sinking into the depths of my bed. Is it natural to feel this tired after waking up? What's the time anyway? 10:30. Holy crap! I've already pretty much missed the first 2 classes. Wasn't this during the weekend? Did I even go to school today or just got my little and skip? Yeah, just skip on ahead. We know this. It's panic. Alright. Now in the library, which is where we met Yuri, I quickly flip to where I left off the last night and begin reading. What did we read? The manga? What do I want to read? Plus also helps being in the school. Just exams? No! We're actually reading Portrait of Markov? We're not in Yuri's character route, we have no need to actually indulge in her interests. We don't care about Yuri anymore. But I guess the main character still does. I quickly flip to where I left off last night and begin reading. It's really quite a captivating book. If all the novels Yuri reads are like this, I can see why she'd be so absorbed in them all the time. Although I can't help but feel the itch to read manga in the back of my mind. It's like an addiction at this point. I can't help but prefer manga to prose novels. I'm in the middle of a chapter when I feel a tap on my shoulder. Oh hey Natsuki. What's up? Huh? Not much, just doing some reading. Half expected you to be home, playing video games? Nah, that's my plan for tomorrow. Natsuki chuckles. Now what are you doing here? Oh, I was just checking this out. Natsuki holds up the novel she has in her hands. Red Autumn Ride. Hey, I used to read that. Really? Yeah, I actually have the first couple of volumes at home. Well, this is only the first one. Actually, do you want to borrow my manga then, after you're done? I mean, it's not like you really need to do that, so I can just go to the library. Oh, will suit yourself. But it is more convenient to do that, because I won't have to walk all the way here. Yeah. She was waiting for me to insist, and the moment she realized I wasn't gonna insist, she immediately went back on herself like, oh, no, I'm gonna do it, don't you worry. So, you know what? Just text me when you need one. Yeah. I mean, if that's what you want to do. The Tsundere is strong in this one. Wanna sit down? Fine. I wanna get this started anyway. Natsuki takes a seat next to me and we both start reading our respective books. I occasionally look over to see where Natsuki is in the volume. I vaguely remember what happens in the series, but seeing it again, the memories start coming back. It's pretty much the opposite of when we started reading Parfait Girls, isn't it? Where we were reading and she was looking over at us and memories were coming back, and so she was kind of looking at it over our shoulder to read again. Now we're doing that same thing, just the other way around. What are you looking at? Natsuki's voice suddenly snaps me out of my thoughts. Oh, nothing. Ha! I go back to Portrait of Markov. Out of the corner of my eye, I notice Natsuki peeking at me. Calling me out for peeking when she peeks at me. A bit hypocritical, don't you think? You know, I'm actually kinda thirsty. I'm gonna go grab a drink. Want anything? Yeah, can I get a... Actually, you'll probably just end up getting me the wrong one. I come with you. Alright. Ah, the vending machine. Home to some of life's greatest choices. Eventually I settle on a lemon lime soda. Although my decision was fairly quick, the same can't be said for Natsuki, who somehow looks both irritated and thoughtful at the same time. You look like someone who's tried to choose a house to buy, you know. Big decision, isn't it? Oh, shut up! I chuckle a bit as Natsuki continues to look. You know, when you said that, I would end up getting the wrong one. I thought you meant... I thought that meant you knew what you wanted. What? I don't have what I wanted here, okay? Jeez. To say this outburst was unexpected would be a bit of an understatement. Instinct tells me that I should apologize, even though I don't really think I was rude. I'm sorry? Natsuki gives me a slightly flustered look. It's fine. Although I am paying for it. So I think I have some sort of right to tease. Ha! Natsuki huffs and turns back to the machine. Her eyes start back and forth a bit before she sighs. Okay, I'll just take this one, because I really don't care. I just want to read. Natsuki presses some buttons on and her soda drops out of the bottom of the machine. Drinks in hand, we make our way back to the table. Oh, what? You're not going to tell us what she got? Okay, fair enough. Or at least we would, if there weren't some other students sitting at our table. It's a boy and a girl, and based on how the guy has his arm around the girl, definitely dating. What are they doing here? Natsuki quietly mouths her question to me. No idea. I take my seat and pop off the tap of my soda. After taking a swing, I return to After taking a swig, I return to Portrait of Markov. The eye on the cover stares ominously back at me. A chill runs down my spine and I can't help but feel uneasy. Maybe I should have read some manga like usual. I look over to Natsuki and her own manga. Natsuki sits with her legs crossed, holding her volume up by her face. There's an awkwardness in the air that keeps distracting me despite my attempts at ignoring it. I sneak glances over at the couple. They're both reading out of some large book, possibly a textbook. Not exactly my idea of a date, but hey, whatever works. We're just about able to ignore them and carry on reading until the girl's voice rings out. Alright then. Hang on, no! Please don't tell me it's some of the people from the festival. Please don't. I don't want Natsuki to have another episode right now. Alright, another girl voice. Random girl.
Hey! I think I've seen you guys before.
What did I do? Alright. We both look up at her, although she claims to recognize us. I don't think I've seen her before. Yeah, it's from there. That festival you guys held. You know, your poetry thing. Natsuki's look of anger swiftly prompts me to respond. Alright, what exactly am I meant to say here? Talk about an awkward situation.
You guys make a cute couple. Oh, you guys make a cute couple.
She smiles sweetly. Yeah. Don't worry, now it's pretty much official. We can't take it back. Rumors are gonna spread anyway, so we might as well go with it. Right, Natsuki? Come here. Jump into my arms. That came out of nowhere. No way! We're just friends. Jeez. They both chuckle seeing Natsuki so flustered.
Ah, shame! You make a cute couple.
The voice cracks really solid, don't they? The girl cuts Natsuki off.
Okay, babe, we should get going.
The guy nods and packs up the book. They both quickly head out the door, leaving Natsuki and I bewildered. I look over at her. She has an expression that's half confusion and half embarrassment. Well, that just happened. Yeah. Even with them gone, the awkward feeling in the air remains. But at least it's easier to focus now. I try to pick off from where I stopped. After a couple of minutes of reading, I start getting into my book and the embarrassment begins to fade away. The outside world starts to drown out as I become more and more invested in the story. I stay like this until I finish the chapter, to which I finally come back to reality. Closing the volume, I look up at Natsuki, equally invested in the manga she's reading. Almost done. Just a couple pages. Looks like you're pretty invested. It's alright. The characters aren't really that likable so far. Yeah, I don't remember liking any of them when I started it too. At least some of them do the right things when it counts. Hey, spoilers? Sorry, that kind of just slipped out. Anyway, did you still want the second volume? Sure. Alright, I'll bring it on Monday. I don't get how you can prefer that creepy book Yuri gave you over manga. Parfait Girls is probably way more interesting. Well, I can't deny that it's creepy, but you should give it a shot. It's actually pretty intriguing. I'll pass. I don't like horror, so how about this? I'll read Parfait Girls if you read Portrait of Markov. Ha! I don't know. Maybe. Natsuki glanced at the clock. I gotta go. Alright, see you on Monday, Natsuki. Yeah, bye. Natsuki puts the volume in her bag and heads for the door. As I continue reading my book, I can't help but crack a smile at the thought of sharing my manga with her on Monday. Yes, because you're pretty much already a couple. Like it or not. There we go, Act 2. Patience. I just sighed before the text box came up. I predicted that. Another Monday. Another week of school. I also didn't get much sleep last night. Fun. Oh well. It's not like I can skip class. Even if I did, if Mom found out, I wouldn't hear the end of it. But I feel like I like my free time, so I'll keep my mouth shut and do my work. The familiar chatter of students fills the hallways as I change into my school shoes. I waited up for Sayori today, so I arrived at school a bit later than usual. Homeroom starts soon, so I'd better get moving. Hey, wait up. Who is it? Huh? I spin around looking for the source of the voice. I find Natsuki, not that far behind me. Oh, hi, Natsuki. Hey. Do you have that copy of Red Autumn yet? Oh yeah, right here. I open up my bag and pull out the manga. Natsuki quickly snatches it out of my hands. Do you have Parfait Girls? It's in the literature club, duh! I don't have it on me? Oh, right. Dang, I was kinda hoping she had it on her. I was looking for something to do in homeroom. Do you think I have enough time to go and grab it? I doubt. Homeroom starts in like 3 minutes. I check the clock on the nearby wall. Oh yeah, jeez. What homeroom are you in, by the way? 1C. You? 2B. Didn't know you were first year. My amazing poem abilities made you think otherwise, didn't they? I can't help but smile a bit at how proud she is of her poetry. Indeed they did. Who's your homeroom teacher? I have Omi-sensei. She's also my English teacher. Oh, I remember her. One of my classmates had her last year. They said she was really strict. Yeah, she is. She freaks out if literally anybody is late. But she's almost always late. That's so stupid. But that's just typical teachers, right? Yeah, I've heard all those stories. My homeroom teacher is late sometimes too. But I mean, he cuts everyone some slack so no one really minds. He's pretty chill. Lucky. Anyway, what can I expect from this one? What one? The second volume? Natsuki taps her finger on the novel. Duh? Oh, right, that one. From what I can remember, it's relatively the same as Parfait Girls. First volume's an intro to the characters, second volume is where things start picking up. Alright. Suddenly I hear the bell ring. My eyes start over to the clock. It's 8:40. Oh crap, we're gonna be late. Natsuki's eyes meet the clock and her facial expression mirrors mine. That is to say, panic. God, how long did we talk? I'll see you at the literature club? Yep, bye. Natsuki and I bolt in opposite directions. When I get to my class, I'm the last one to arrive. I'm one of the last to arrive. As per usual, Sakurai isn't here yet. Not that I'm complaining, mind you. Without him here, everyone is talking amongst themselves rather than finding their seats. I think I'll drop my stuff off and grab a quick drink. Hey, Code. Huh? Oh, it's Shiori. Oh, hey, Shiori. So we're still in the same stream, so I think I'm still gonna give her the same voice now. I'm just gonna change it once I get to the next stream again. So, I did the nasal voice, right?
Hey! I just wanted to say that I really liked your poem.
Poem? Oh, the festival, right?
Wait, you forgot already?
I've been trying to.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Those guys were idiots.
You could say that.
Yeah, it sucks that you guys had to deal with that. That ought to mess up your whole getting new members thing.
You don't say. Hey, speaking of which, you did say we're gonna come to one of our meetings, right?
Oh, that? Yeah, that was just to make Monica feel better. I'm not actually going. It clashes with my band practice anyway.
Okay, fair enough. It's just unfortunate that we couldn't control them, even though it's our club.
They only stop when the one girl yelled at all of them.
Oh, Natsuki?
Yeah, I wish it hadn't come to that.
But, oh well, nothing we can do now.
Yep. Alright, well, time for my attendance since Sakura isn't here.
Again? Oh, again. Natsuki snickers at my joke.
I know, right? Anyway,
She turns to the rest of the class.
in your seats everyone, let's take attendance.
Everybody breaks up from their groups and takes their seats. I do the same, and idly watch her as she takes the attendance. About 2 minutes pass before the door opens and in walks Sakurai. My apologies, class. Had a late night. Besides, it should be illegal to make people wake up before 9. A light laughter follows his quip. He's certainly not wrong. Alright, it's time to take attendance. Let's see here. Oh, it seems like someone beat me to it. He looks up at Shiori, who smiles proudly in return. So, only Emmy is absent. As if on cue, the door swings open and in walks Emmy.
Sorry, sir,
Don't worry about it, Emmy. Trust me, I'm not in a position to criticize people for being late. More laughter. That was a prime example of why Sakurai is so popular and respected among the students. Alright guys, let's get right to it. Pull out your notes. A couple of groans come from the back of the class. Yeah, I know. But we've got a lot to cover today. Now, if you've been paying attention, which I hope you have been, you'll know our current focus is on the 20th century Europe. Specifically, the events leading up to World War I. Now the question is, what kind of political climate leads to a war that ended up killing 17 million people? Well guys, I am glad you asked. Or at least I'll pretend like you did. Looks like lesson time has begun. Lesson continues on as normal with nothing out of the ordinary happening. Also, notice that, I can't use skip right now, so this is either all new dialogue overall, or, depending on how Act 1 plays out, the following acts are written so entirely differently that it just disables the skip button as a overall if you haven't played that specific character out. So, if that's the case, then we might actually encounter a lot of new stuff going forward. Lesson continues as normal, with nothing out of the ordinary happening. Notes are taken, questions are answered, normal boring classroom stuff. Despite how typical the lesson is, Sakurai's energy holds my attention so well that the bell surprised me. A couple people say goodbye, but most of us just wave as Sakurai packs up his stuff and walks out the door. Ah, it's finally lunchtime! Yes. This is probably my favorite part of the day, excluding the literature club, of course. Sayori is in my lunch period. Maybe I'll sit with her today. If I can find her, that is. Oh, there she is. Sayori is sitting by the wall on a bench, all alone. She gazing off into the distance. She's... Alright, allow me to correct that for you. As a true master of literature. She is gazing off into the distance, staring at nothing. Maybe I won't disturb her. She seems like she's not in a good mood today. I can't even remember this. Is this choice new for the Natsuki route? And why is it here? Okay. Think about this. Our target is Natsuki. Would Natsuki want me to make others feel better, or would Natsuki want me to leave her alone and spend more time with her? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what to do. Okay. Just stay calm. So, Sayori is not our main focus. So let's avoid her, and that way we might hopefully maybe encounter Natsuki and spend more time with her. You get what I'm saying? You picking up on what I'm putting down? And in case of emergency, we're just gonna have to go back again. But this seems like the first choice where I'm gonna screw up the good ending. Well. Alright. I clicked it. Yeah, she definitely seems like she wants to be alone. Oh well, guess I'll go sit somewhere else. After a bit of searching, I find an empty bench out in the hallway. I do a bit of my homework while eating just to get it out of the way. That's the bell, I gotta get going. So no Natsuki. Well, there go my hopes for that. I probably should have, in that case, I probably should have gone to Sayori. Because let's be honest, what did I accomplish? Nothing. I didn't encounter any character this time. I already know that I've made a mistake. But I'm gonna keep going anyway, because I'm an idiot. Pack up my stuff and head for my next class. On my way I spot Sayori talking to Natsuki. So she does have lunch this period. So she does have lunch this period. I knew it. Damn it! If I sat next to Sayori, I probably would have encountered Natsuki too. You know what? I already know we messed up. But let's keep going anyway. We're gonna get both endings anyway, so... we're gonna get the bad ending again. I already know we're gonna get the bad ending for her. Well, missed the opportunity to hang out with her during lunch. Oh well. I know I messed up, game. No need to rub it in my face, you know? I already know. I've realized it. The moment you mentioned Natsuki, you didn't have to specifically call out my opportunity that I missed. She does seem to have cheered Sayori up a bit, which makes me smile. Well. Well. Ah, the literature club, the best part of my day. The week has dragged by really slowly, but thankfully it's Friday today. That excitement that looms over you the entire day is both a blessing and a curse. A blessing in the sense that you're home free once school is over. A curse in the sense that it makes the day seem a lot longer than usual. Oh well, no sense complaining. If I remember correctly, Natsuki said she had a poem she wanted to show me. Took a bit of coaxing in the beginning, but I've gotten to the point with Natsuki that she'll actually take my constructive criticism. She's very stubborn when it comes to her poems and writing style, so this is a big step forward. At least for me it is. I'm not completely sure if the other girls are on good terms with Natsuki at the moment. Ever since the festival, things might have been kinda tense. It's eased up a bit, yeah, but it's still there. I don't really know how to deal with it, though. I don't think anyone does. So for now, we're kind of stuck. After a bit of walking, I reach the club room door, but find myself hesitating to open it. You know, I kinda don't feel like dealing with all the tension in the club today. And I'm suddenly feeling tired. Maybe I'll just... Whoa. I jump back startled. Natsuki sticks her head out of the door with a confused look on her face. Hey, are you coming in or what? You're just standing there like an idiot? Oh, I sigh. Well, no turning back now. Yeah, I'll be right in. Well, hurry it up, we don't have all day. I hear ya. I walk inside the club room and am greeted by the same old sight. Monika is talking with Sayori at the end of the room, at the front of the room. Yuri is reading at one of the desks, and Natsuki is lost somewhere in the closet. You just opened the door and you're already in the closet again. Wow. She pops out about a minute later with a piece of paper in her hands. Here, take a look at this one. New poem. The Deer. A beaten down path in between the trees. As I walk along, all of a sudden I see a deer in the thicket, staring back at me. He struts his antlers like it's a crown, his soft brown fur that blends in with the ground, his gentle hoofs that don't make a sound. He's the king of the forest and I must bow down. A deer in the thicket, staring back at me. He turns around and runs into the trees. Not stuck on a path, allowed to roam free. Oh, how I wish that were me. Aww. Again with the metaphors of, you know, not having as much freedom as you would like, being kind of forced into stuff. Yeah. But it was a good one. It was a good poem. So, what do you think? Not bad. Not bad at all. Natsuki smiles proudly. I think that I get the symbolism. The deer represents a sort of desire to be free, to follow your passions, yeah? Yeah, that's about right. I see. Yeah, I really like the symbolism. Is this your first time writing about anything nature-related? Yeah, why? Well, it's just my opinion. But I feel like you could have been a bit more descriptive. Huh? What do you mean? Well, what really makes your poems unique is how they convey complex ideas with simpler words and phrases. But nature, if you look at it from a certain angle, isn't really all that complex. It's just pretty. When describing something pretty, typically descriptive words would work better. I get that nature wasn't the primary focus of the poem, but I think more descriptive words would have added to it. You know what I mean? Natsuki looks at me quizzically. Strangely enough, I don't really see any anger in her expression, more just skepticism. Finally, she speaks up. Since when did you become a poem expert? Huh? What are you talking about? Are you kidding me? You sound like Monika there. Not gonna lie, I did not expect that. Well, what can I say? You've had an effect on me. Oh really? How so? Well, you've taught me how to look at poems more constructively. And my style is very much like yours. Well, I'd be lying if I said I haven't been listening to your constructive criticism. So, yeah. I find myself smiling. I hand back Natsuki's poem. Hey, you wanna read some of her fagels or something? Sure. Cool. I go grab it. Usual spot? Yep. Gotcha. Natsuki goes to sit over by the wall while I grab the book from my bag. Which volume are you on, by the way? 8 or 9? I can't remember. 8. Ah. I sit down next to Natsuki, opening the novel to where I had left off the night before. Hey, I remember you mentioning that you'd be open to baking some more or something. I'm free tomorrow, so, like, if you want to, I'd love to. Really? Of course. I had a blast baking with you during the festival. I'd be glad to do it again. Sure, that sounds good. What time do you want to come over? 2? Would that work? Works just fine. Okay, cool. Alright, now, where were we?
Okay, everyone. I'd like you all to come to the front. I have an idea you guys might want to hear.
Alright, never mind, I guess. I swear, she times it perfectly just to mess with us. All I can do is shrug, and Natsuki and I join Yuri and Sayori in the front of the classroom. Right, Halloween, which we're gonna skip again.
So, guys, as you know, Halloween is coming up pretty soon. So, Sayori and I were talking, and she suggested that we could have a Halloween party. Thoughts?
A Halloween party? How many people are we talking exactly? And thank you for the follow, by the way. Appreciate it. Isabelly? Isa Spelly? Oh my god, I'm already butchering your name. I apologize so much. I sincerely apologize. But thank you for the follow.
Oh, it's just us. It's more like a get-together than a full-blown party.
Yeah, we could all dress up, play games, and share lots of ghost stories.
Or better yet, we could write horror poems and share them.
I see the slightest flicker in Yuri's eyes when Monica mentions horror poems.
I think that would be fun if you guys want to, that is.
Natsuki sighs. Do they have to be horror poems?
Well, it's Halloween, isn't it? If you really want to, Natsuki, you can write about something different.
No, it's fine. I can manage. It's just, we haven't shared poems since the festival. As predicted, the clubroom goes silent. The tension in the air is painfully apparent, and all it took was a mention of the festival. Sarah and I exchange glances before Monica finally breaks the awkward silence.
That is true. Well, I guess this will be where we started up again.
Monica's voice begins to trail off, but I start talking before the club devolves into another awkward silence. What about food?
Good question, Claude.
Code and I could bake cookies?
Code, does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds fine. I'm down.
Great. How about drinks? Yuri? Me? I guess I could bring some refreshments. Excellent. Thank you, Yuri. So Yuri and I will bring chips and things like that. I have one question, Monica. Yeah, what is it? Where would we be having the party?
Right here in the club room.
Wait. Assuming we'll be having the party while it's dark out, wouldn't the school be closed?
Yes, it will be.
After seeing the devious grin on Sayori's face, I finally get it. Oh. Okay, yeah, I'm down. Let's do it. You know what? I don't even remember having this conversation. I think on the Yuri route I don't remember this conversation happening. I think we just casually went into the school while it was closed. So either I'm forgetting some important stuff or this route is very, very, very different in the content it provides.
You guys couldn't possibly be suggesting we break into the school.
Bingo! Sayori!
Monica, you let Sayori talk you into this? Well, truth be told, it's one part I'm not particularly keen on. Maybe you could have it at one of your houses. Natsuki?
No way! My dad would never let me have a party at our house. Come on, screw having it at our houses. Let's break into the school.
We're gonna get into so much trouble.
Oh, come on, Yuri. Live a little. Besides, you know how creepy it'll be? School during the night. You can't compare that to hosting it at one of our houses.
Yeah, Code is right. The school will be perfect.
You know, Sayori, I never took you for a rule breaker. I'm actually kinda impressed. Sayori smiles a devilish grin. Yeah, Sayori's always had a mischievous side to her.
Ah, don't be so mean, coward.
Alright, sorry. You know I'm right though. Sorry begins to jokingly pout, inciting a smile from me.
If you guys really insist. Well, if everyone else is okay with it, then I suppose the school will do. Oh, before I forget, Yuri.
Yes?
Do you think you could do some atmosphere related for the party, like what you did for the festival?
Yuri closes her eyes and takes a breath.
Yes, of course. It won't be exactly like the festival, if that's alright. Yeah, no problem. We'll sort out the finer details later, so don't worry. So, poems, ghost stories, food, what else?
Ooh, costumes!
Ah, yes, costumes. Thank you, Sayori.
Do we have to?
Come on, Natsuki, please, it'll be fun, I swear.
You're not spooky. Come on, not spooky. You know, I'm kind of curious. Maybe I should disable skip Halloween, considering how different everything is. But there has to be a reason why you can skip Halloween specifically. I think the Halloween event is gonna stay the same no matter what happens, right? So, I think I'm gonna keep that option enabled. I feel like Halloween is gonna be exactly the same. Fine, I'll dress up.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't wait to see what everyone will come up with. It'll surely be a sight to see.
There's a general murmur of agreement between everyone.
Alright, well, I think that's about it. And you look at that, right on time. Good talk today, guys. See you all later.
Alright, hang on a second. Alright. Gotta get some chocolates, you know. It's Saturday. Yeah, you know, I should probably eventually get a good mic. Because I feel like the sounds of me chewing and all that stuff aren't, you know, that much what you guys want to hear. Alright, so. Natsuki's coming over again and I'm stressing out like it's the festival all over again. Mainly just because my house is a mess. Alright, well, I have an hour before Natsuki gets here. I better get to cleaning. Or not. I reluctantly head to the door to let Natsuki in. Hey! Natsuki, you're an hour early. So, what does it matter? Well, I step out of the way of the door frame and point towards my living room. I was gonna clean. Was being the key word. Okay, I see your point. That is messy. Oh, be quiet. Natsuki laughs and jokingly jabs me in the arm. Alright, well, come on. We don't have all day. I'm coming. Natsuki steps inside and heads straight for the kitchen. She wastes no time plopping her bag of supplies down and getting straight to work. I brought everything we need, so we don't have to go out shopping this time? Yeah. What are we making exactly? I was thinking cookies this time. I love cupcakes, but let's switch it up a bit. Understandable. Sounds good to me. Alright, you can do the frosting, I'll do the dough. Why can't I do the dough? Because I don't trust you with the dough. Besides, frosting is the best part of cookies. I don't see why you're complaining. Alright, fine. Frosting. That needs powdered sugar and butter. And milk. Yes, and milk. Mix the sugar and butter first, then beat in the milk. Don't do it all at once. I hear ya. I reach into Natsuki's bag and pull out the necessary ingredients. Trays are under the oven, by the way. I figured. Just making sure. I pull out a large mixing bowl out of the cupboards and begin making the frosting. Sugar and butter, just like she said. Beat the milk. Once it's finally done, She grabs some pumpkin-shaped cookie cutters from her bag and begins making little pumpkin-shaped cookies. That's a lot less dough than last time. Well, this is only for us. We don't have to cater to an entire crowd this time. Thank God. You could say that again. Have you noticed how tense the literature club has been? Of course I have. Anyone with half a brain could. It's all because of that stupid festival. Ah, the festival. We share a groan. Thanks for sticking up for me, though. I know I was being mean to Monica, and I'm not proud of it. Well, you apologized, yeah? I did, but everything's still so awkward. Yeah, that is a problem. Well, I'd say just give it time. The Halloween party is in a couple of days. I'm sure everything will be less tense after a night of partying. I guess you're right. It just sucks that we have to deal with all of this. You could say that again. I do appreciate it, though. It was really nice of you. Natsuki looks up at me. Our eyes meet, but only for a split second before she turns away. Don't mention it, Natsuki. Ding! What was that sound effect? Well, looks like the cookies are done. Guess that means I better get back to the frosting. Here, let me see how you're doing. Natsuki walks over to my workstation and inspects the bowl. Huh, not bad. Practice makes perfect, eh? Natsuki snickers and jokingly rolls her eyes. Add in the food coloring now. I'll get to work on the chocolate. On it. Took about 20 minutes, but Natsuki and I have finally frosted and decorated the cookies, so they look like little pumpkins. With the sheet of cookies laid out on the table, Natsuki and I take a step back and admire our hard work. The best part of cooking, admiring your creation. Isn't the best part eating it? Actually, yeah, you're right. Speaking of which, Natsuki snatches her cookie off the tray and shoves it into her mouth. Hey, I thought these were for the party. Natsuki just smiles at me. Fine, then I'm taking one. Go ahead, they won't know. I grab a cookie and take a bite out of it. Holy crap. I outdid myself with this frosting. Natsuki jabs me in the arm. Screw you. I laugh and Natsuki joins in. After grabbing one more cookie, we start packing away. Alright, I'll see you later. I'll take the cookies and I'll meet you at school tomorrow, okay? Oh, I thought I was gonna walk with you. I thought I was gonna walk with you from your house. Nah, I'll meet you at school. Huh, okay. Natsuki starts off, but I close the door behind, Natsuki starts off and I close the door behind her. Well, that was a bit weird. Oh well, I still had a lot of fun. Man, I really need to find more excuses for us to bake stuff together. Yeah. Who knows, maybe just say it's a date. Just make it official, dude, come on. I mean, I say that, but I would suck at picking this up as well. I didn't have Skip Halloween enabled. Well, now it's a little bit late. But yeah, it looks like it's the same. I should have had it enabled, but I forgot. Apparently I disabled it and didn't realize. Actually, that reminds me. This could have ended badly. I mean... Thank God Halloween showed up first. Why was it disabled? Wow. Okay. So thank God Halloween came around and made me check the settings again. Because imagine if we actually got that far with Natsuki and I didn't have this setting enabled. Oh God, that would have been horrible. Absolutely horrible. But now, we're safe. We're safe. So you know the stuff. Bam. Skip. Keep on skipping. Keep on skipping. Keep on skipping. And I apologize for the fact that we have to skip through this rather than just skipping over it entirely. But at least we get to see Not Spooky again. We all like Not Spooky, right? The little skeleton. Alright. Also, how did I not realize it before? The change of the text box. You know how on the Yuri route, the text box was all like a moonlit night, and this one is like with pink clouds and a balloon. The text boxes after Act 1 are themed around the characters you're going for. How did I not notice this text box sooner? Yeah. What is that noise? Oh, it's my phone. Someone's calling me. I tried to look at the call ID, but my vision's still blurry considering I just woke up. Whatever, I better answer them, whoever they are. Is it? Yeah. Hello? Alright. You're back. I wasn't looking forward to this. Hi, sweetie. Huh? Who is this? It's your mom, sweetheart. Mom? Oh, Mom, hey. I quickly sit up in my bed. Sorry, I literally just woke up. Code, it's 12 o'clock. It is? I turn my head and examine the alarm clock next to my bed. Oh, yeah, jeez. What time did you go to bed exactly, young man? I don't know, maybe 3? It's not like I can be blamed for such a late night, given our party. Still, maybe it's best not to mention yesterday's events just yet. Coward? Hey, it's a Saturday. That doesn't matter. If you keep going to bed late, you're gonna completely mess up your sleep schedule for the entire week. Well, if it's any consolation, I've been going to bed at 10 on school days. I hear Mom sigh on the other end. Just go to bed at a reasonable time tonight, okay? Duly noted. Good. So how's the trip been going? Overall, not bad. My client's been a headache the past few days, though. He can't make up his mind about anything. Indecisive people are the worst. Anyway, I was just calling to see how you are. I'm still alive, yeah. Always reassuring to hear. Her dry tone makes me laugh. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Oh, before I forget the reason I called you. I've put some more money into the bank account. You know how to withdraw it, right? Seeing as how I was born in the 21st century, yes. Just checking. Anyway, spend it wisely, because I'm not sure when I'll be able to top you up. Suddenly, I hear someone calling her name in the background. Sorry, sweetheart, I have to go. I'll call you later. Love you. Love you too, Mom. Bye. Bye. She hangs up, and I am left sitting in my bed, alone. Alone. I don't feel like moving. I just want to sink into my bed and fall back asleep. But I can't bring myself to fall asleep again. I'm tired. But not tired enough to go back to sleep. Basically, I'm lazy. We've all been there before, haven't we? Is there anything productive I can do today besides playing games or reading manga? I could go to the library. Productive code, productive. The library is not a productive place for you. All you do is read. My mom said she put more money into the account. I guess I could go get some out just to have on me. Yeah, I guess I'll do that. But first, breakfast. I'm starving. I managed to drag myself out of bed and head downstairs to make myself some breakfast. I keep it simple, just some frozen waffles. Pinnacle of fine dining, I know, but it works. If it works, it works. Once I'm done with breakfast, I pop back into my room to quickly change, and then I'm off. Ah, this city. Recently, I've become more and more fond of it. There's something about seeing people of all walks of life just going about their daily business that's just intriguing to me. The atmosphere in the city is so much different than in the suburbs. There's a sort of live and let live attitude shared by those on the streets, and for some strange reason I find it comforting. It felt like I was born a city dweller, but I got stuck in the suburbs. Oh well, maybe someday I'll finally move out and get an apartment downtown. Someday. It's Natsuki, isn't it? Code? Huh? I spin around, and to my surprise, I see Sayori standing right behind me. Oh, hey Sayori.
Hi, Code. How are you doing?
I'm alright, just taking a stroll. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just out for a walk.
Really? Huh? How coincidental. Well, it's not like we can be blamed for taking a walk in the city. It is beautiful.
The best part of it is the park, you know, the one where we always used to go.
Oh yeah, I remember that. We used to run around, play ball. I can't help myself from smiling, and neither can Sayori. Good times.
Yeah, I miss them.
Me too. We'll try to hang out more. Outside of the literature club.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
You know, I'm actually pretty hungry right now. Maybe I should treat Sayori to lunch. I can get money out of an ATM. Then again, Mom said to spend my money wisely, and going out to lunch would probably be fairly costly. I don't want to go broke. There's also the slight chance that Natsuki might see us and get the wrong impression. Decisions. Alright. I mean, I shouldn't really care too much. I feel like I'm already on the route to the bad ending, right? Right. Also, I think it's perfect. We're on the Natsuki route, and both choices we've had so far, other than, you know, the first choice after the festival, but both choices we've had in Act 2 so far, despite being on the Natsuki route, both involve Sayori rather than Natsuki. But yeah, I'm gonna head home, see how it goes, and then depending on how it goes, I might adjust it on my playthrough for the good ending. But yeah, we're a loner right now. Maybe we could have another party, like the one we had on Halloween.
Oh, that sounds fun.
But wait, what would it be for? Well, not every party needs to be a celebration of something. You can't just have a party just for the sake of having a party.
But wouldn't that be boring? There's no theme or anything.
Well, I've never been to a party like that, so I wouldn't know. Maybe I should ask Monica. She's probably been to a ton of parties.
Yeah, she is very popular.
What do people even do at parties like that?
Oh, there's a lot of food and dancing.
And probably getting wasted.
Code.
Hey, I'm not wrong, am I? Sorry, ponders this for a moment.
Well, I guess not. I don't know.
It seems like we're faced with a very important question. We'll have to run an experiment in a controlled environment. I'll need a keg.
Code, that's naughty.
It's for science, Sayori. Science! I point a finger in the air dramatically. Science! Sayori laughs and shakes her head.
You haven't changed, Code.
I could say the same to you. We both share a chuckle. Alright, well, I'll be on my way. Take care of yourself, Sayori.
Only if you do the same.
Will do. We wave goodbye, Sayori, and I wave goodbye to Sayori and start to head home. It's mid-afternoon in the middle of November, and the colder temperatures are really starting to show. Maybe I'll start wearing a winter jacket when I go out. It was a present from my dad from a while back. It's a bit ragged, but it gets the job done. Sometimes that's all you can really ask for. Out of the corner of my eye, I notice the sign of the library. I think I'll read for a bit, actually. Maybe even pick up a new series if anything catches my eye. And now we're gonna meet Natsuki. No. Finally, I'm home. In the nick of time too, apparently. Twice in one day, eh?
Is a mother not allowed to check up on her one and only son?
I chuckle. Anyway,
Anyway, how was your day?
was alright. Nothing out of the ordinary. Actually, I did run into Sayori while I was getting some money out.
Oh really, how is she?
She's good, she hasn't changed a bit. Did you know she was the vice president of the literature club?
I did not. Good for her. Oh, speaking of clubs, have you joined any at all?
Well, yeah, the literature club.
Really?
Why exactly do you sound so surprised, huh?
Oh, nothing.
She snickers, I scoff.
So obviously Sayori's in the club. Who else is there?
There's 3 others. Monica, Yuri, and Natsuki.
Ooh, those sound like girl names. Now I see why you joined.
Mom?
Am I wrong?
Not entirely. I hear a laugh on the other end. Even if it's at my expense, it still warms my heart. I mean, part of the reason is because Sayori and I wanted to get our friendship back on track.
Ah yeah, I noticed you two got kinda distant. Keep her close to you, Code. Friends are extremely important. More important than a girlfriend. Trust me, when you have a falling out with a friend, it'll mess up your social life, big time.
I mean, are friends really more important than a girlfriend?
Romantic relationships and friendships are 2 very different things. Romantic relationships take a lot of effort to maintain and fall apart easily. Friendships are the exact opposite. Here, think of it like this: if you shut all your friends out for your girlfriend, and then she breaks up with you, who do you have to support you?
All right, point taken.
I'm just speaking from experience, sweetie.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Thanks for the tip.
Of course. I hear my stomach grumble. Alright, I'm actually pretty hungry. I'll be heading out. Good talk.
Take care.
See ya. She's right, though. Friends are more important than girlfriends. So what you're telling me is hopefully not telling me that on the Natsuki route she won't be our official girlfriend, but rather just a friend. If that's where this is going, then I'm gonna be very disappointed. Right? I don't know. Well, either way, I still want to be friends with Sayori. I'll talk to her, maybe we can work something out. At least I hope we can. Maybe we can, maybe we can't. Only one way to find out, right? That's by interacting with her. But I prefer interacting with Natsuki. Also, why does the text box just start showing up and then disappear again? It's Sunday! I got a text from Natsuki last night asking if I wanted to make some bentos with her today. It was kinda out of nowhere, but it's not like I have a full schedule. So of course I said yes. She should be here any minute now. Oh, I should probably grab some cash since we're going shopping. This time, it won't be because I forgot to go shopping on my own time. Which is good, because I enjoy not getting yelled at. As soon as I reach my bedroom, I hear the front door swing open.
Code, you here?
Yeah, just a minute. No doorbell, eh?
What? It's not like I haven't been here before?
Just don't go breaking my door.
No promises.
Natsuki smiles slyly. You say that now, but you're the one who's gonna be paying for it.
Excuse me? You're the one who's loaded. Why should I have to pay for it?
Loaded? I laugh. Don't know where you got that from, but I can assure you that I'm not loaded.
Yeah, welcome to the club.
Natsuki averts her eyes. Alright, enough money talk. Let's get to shopping.
Sounds good. Follow me, I know a really good shop for bento supplies.
Right behind you. The same one as always? I trail behind Natsuki as we head towards the city. At this time of year, the grey skies loom in sight, contrast against the color of the city's lights. You're talking like a poet now, even though you're not writing a poem. The sights aren't much different from yesterday, but they're pretty nonetheless. Feeling a bit social today, I give some passerbys a modest head bow as a casual greeting. They do the same back to me. Geez, you're a social butterfly today. Huh? What can I say? The city puts me in a good mood. Really? Why? Well, I don't know. It's just pretty, I guess. It's a nice change of pace from the suburbs, that's for sure. I guess you're right. I don't like the noise, but I do enjoy going out. Oh, here's the place. Natsuki points at the sign of a small shop adjacent to the sidewalk. CodeErr 7. I've never heard of this place in my life. You've been missing out then? This place is actually pretty popular with tourists, and for a good reason. They literally have the best rice ever. Do they serve it, or is it just something you can buy? Both. It's the same shop as always. As I walk inside, I ponder whether or not to get myself a bowl. Well, if I do, I'd have to get Natsuki one too. Yeah, we will. Hey, you want a bowl? What? Do you want a bowl of rice? My treat. Yes? I mean, yeah, sure. Alright, you get the bento stuff? I'll get us some rice. Deal? Sure. Natsuki collects what we need and heads out for the register. So I think that was definitely the right choice, right? I think so. I think I made the right choice here. For choice 1, I'm pretty sure I made the wrong one. For choice 2, I'm not sure. Here, I'm pretty sure I made the right choice. I hope you agree with me on that. I follow behind her with our lunches. She pays for the groceries, I pay for the rice. As we walk out of the store, I can't help but notice that Natsuki is struggling with the bag. Do you want me to... I got it! If you insist. It's been about 10 minutes since we got home, and the kitchen is already a mess. First thing Natsuki and I did when we arrived was eat our lunches. Natsuki was right. That was probably the best rice I've ever had. There was some sort of seasoning on the vegetables that was amazing, and it made them melt in my mouth. I see now why the place is so popular. The kitchen's not as bad as it was when we made the Halloween cookies, but there's chopped vegetables and bits of rice all over the countertops. Natsuki and I divided up their jobs evenly, so I was in charge of cutting the vegetables and she was in charge of cutting the meat. Natsuki was busy cutting the sausages so they looked like little octopi, so I put the vegetables in a pot to boil. I'm about to put it in the spinach when Natsuki comes over to the stove. Remember, put in the stem first, then the leaves. Once it starts boiling again, take it out and put it in cold water. Right. You soak it in soy sauce after that, yeah? That's more of a light coat, but basically. Wring it out a bit once you put the soy sauce on, then let it soak. Got it. How about the sausage? How are the sausages looking? See for yourself. Natsuki motions to her workspace. Not bad at all. Natsuki smiles proudly, inciting a smile from me. As she finishes up with the sausage and chicken, I coat the spinach in soy sauce and let it sit. Once that's finished, I begin making the spinach tamagoyaki. I place vegetable oil in a hot pan, then I pour on a beaten egg. Once it's fully cooked, I take the spinach and place it on the egg, turning it into a mini roll. Repeating the process again results in 2 rolls, one for each of us. Natsuki cooked the meat while I was working on the tamagoyaki, and now it's only the onigiri and the vegetables left. Here, you finish the potato salad, I'll work on the onigiri. Sounds good. Natsuki and I switch workstations, so that now she's at the stove. Taking the cooked carrot and potatoes, I add in vinegar, sugar, and some black pepper. Once it's evenly stirred, I add in the cucumber, corn, and mayonnaise to complete the salad. Natsuki is still working on the onigiri, so I start putting together the bentos. She quickly finishes the onigiri and puts it in the box. Well then, I think that's it. Almost. One more thing. I don't know, Nat. It looks pretty full. It's small, don't worry. Natsuki grabs a pair of chopsticks and some sesame seeds. Here, look at this. Using the chopsticks, Natsuki gently attaches 2 sesame seeds to each sausage. See, I gave them eyes. I lean in to get a better view. Yeah, you did. Cute. I placed the tops of the bento boxes on the bento boxes and stacked them on top of each other. Ta-da! Natsuki laughs. You're a dope. Right back at you. Excuse me? You heard me. Natsuki jabs me in the arm. Ow, that hurt. You deserved it? Just for that? I take the bento boxes and raise them above my head. I'm taking your bento. Hey, give that back! Nope, it's mine now. Give it to me. Natsuki fruitlessly jumps up and down, trying to grab the bentos from me. Okay. I bring one of the bentos back down. Here we go. Natsuki reaches for the box, but in one swift motion, I push it back out of her reach. Hey! She resumes jumping. Eventually she gives up, resting her arms on my shoulder. We got a new CG, and I feel like we got that much quicker than we did with Yuri. Right? That went much quicker. We're both laughing, so it takes us a moment to realize the position we're in. Once I do, I immediately stop laughing as my cheeks go red. It seems Natsuki's noticed as well. Instead of pulling away immediately, though, she just stares into my eyes. I can feel her breath on my chest. Ooh boy. Her beautiful pink eyes are wide open and her mouth is slightly parted. What is happening? Natsuki? Suddenly she pulls away. She averts her eyes. Desperately I try to save the situation, the only way I know how. You still want your bento? Natsuki nods her head, still not looking at me. I hand her one of the boxes and she hesitantly takes it. I'm gonna go now? Okay, I'll walk you out. You don't... Natsuki stops herself. Never mind. In an awkward silence, Natsuki and I walk to the door. She slips on her coat, opens the door and starts out without a word. Natsuki, wait. She turns around confused. I place my hand on her shoulder and she tenses up. See ya at the club. See ya? Without another word, Natsuki rushes out the door. I'm left reflecting on what just happened. What exactly happened? Was it an accident? Just a misunderstanding? I don't know. I have a bunch of questions and plenty of time to answer them. I should probably clean first, though. Progress. That went much quicker than with Yuri, I feel like. Like, honestly. Like, for Yuri, it was like the end of Act 2, where we finally got our first CG. Unless this is already the end of Act 2. Sir? Huh? Oh, Code, what a nice surprise. What's up? Are you doing anything right now? Technically, no. This is like this is like the one day this week I don't have meetings. Meetings, taxes, and more meetings. The working world sure is a joy. Yeah, I can imagine. Isn't university fun? Isn't university fun though? It is, right up until finals. Anyway, I was about to head out, but if you wanna talk, then let's talk. Oh, are you sure? I just had a couple of questions about the homework. Yes, I'm sure. I don't have anywhere to be. Here, take a seat. Sakurai pulls up a chair to his desk, motioning for me to sit in it. Okay, so I know overproduction was one of the causes for the stock market crash. What was the other one? Let me answer your question with a question. Have you been taking notes at all? I know you're supposed to be honest with teachers, but how exactly do you tell them you haven't been taking notes? Your silence speaks volumes, Code. I begin to sink down in my seat. Sakurai just chuckles. Don't worry, Code. I know how boring taking notes is. I was a high schooler once too, you know. Of course, if you develop a habit of not taking notes, you'll be like me and barely end up graduating on time. You almost failed? Are you kidding me? I was almost failing my entire third year. I finally learned how to take good notes in university. That was the hard way, though. Trust me, it's better to learn now than to learn in the real world. Do you want me to slow down a bit? Will that help? What? No, the pace is perfectly fine. I'm just a bit lazy. I can relate to that too much. Another shared laugh. Now, to finally answer your question. The main reason for the stock market crash was overproduction and installment buying. That's like credit cards, yeah? Precisely. Anyway, the stock market crashed on October 29th, 1929, also known as... Here we go. And that's pretty much why the 1930s was such an unstable decade. Does that all make sense? Yeah, it does. Thank you, sir. The clarity is much appreciated. All good. I'm always happy to help students, especially when they take the initiative to see me after lessons. It happens less than you'd think. Anyway, I've got to get going. See you tomorrow. Have a good day, sir. With that, I take my bag and head for the literature club. Hooray! I know Natsuki is probably gonna be mad that I'm late, but I'd say it's worth it. I'm starting to really like Sakurai. He's the first teacher I've ever really connected with. I like the guy, and it seems he likes me too. At least I hope so. Opening the door to the literature club, I see Yuri, Sayori, and Monika in the front of the room. Natsuki isn't anywhere to be seen, though. She might still be hiding in the closet, you never know. Hey, guys!
Hi, Code. Hey, Code, you're a bit late. Something come up?
Oh, yeah, there you are! Where were you? Natsuki suddenly interjects and startles me. Geez, where'd you come from? The closet? Duh! Where did you come from? I had a feeling she was there. I was just talking to a teacher. About? Homework? Natsuki eyes me suspiciously. What's that look for? You know what it's for? No, I don't. Natsuki shakes her head and walks back into the closet. Hey, I'm serious. Sure. Where exactly do you think I came from then, huh? Well, I think that... Uh-oh. What just happened? I rush over to the closet trying to figure out the source of the crash. Something fell down? But what fell down? To my surprise, I see ceramic pieces shattered all over the floor. Is that...
What was that noise?
Monika calls out from the other side of the room. It was Yuri's tea set. Oh no. Oh no. Not good. Very bad. The rest of the girls rush over to the closet. Monika and Sayori look nervous, and Yuri... I'm not really sure how to describe her face. She looks absolutely devastated, yet she seems about 3 seconds away from murdering Natsuki. I mean, she could do it. Yeah, Yuri, let me ask you a question. Do you have a knife with you right now? I can see her fists tighten with every passing second. Yuri, Natsuki averts her eyes. It was an honest accident? I'm sure it was. There's a sort of restrained quality to Yuri's voice, like she's holding something back.
That tea set cost 6,800 yen.
Yuri pauses. I can almost hear her grinding her teeth.
And if you don't mind, I'd like for you to pay for it.
Are you kidding me? I don't have that kind of money.
Well, then you should have been more careful.
Yuri has a fire in her eyes now, comparable only to the argument on my second day in the club. I can pay for it. Natsuki doesn't look like she's backing down, though. This is gonna get ugly. Hey, I said I was sorry?
If I remember correctly, you said it was an honest accident. There was no mention of an apology.
Fine then, I'm sorry. There, you happy? Yuri scoffs.
Just what I'd expect from someone as egotistical and narrow-minded as you. It's never your fault, is it? It's always the other person who's at fault. It's their wrongdoings, not yours.
It was an honest mistake. I said that, did I not? Or were you not listening? Natsuki clenches her fist and Yuri's stare becomes even more icy. They're really going at it, aren't they? The last time I interjected in an argument was at the festival, so I think it's best if I step this one out.
Was I not listening? My goodness, your self-centered arrogance knows no bounds. All I asked for was an apology, and you repay me for the tea set. And yet you treat me like this for simply asking for reparations. Face it, you're a spoiled, egotistical brat.
I don't have 7,000 yen. Why am I the bad guy for not being rich? Yeah, I don't think she's spoiled at all. I mean, yeah, she kind of acts like it sometimes, but she's not. Excuse me, if my parents aren't rich. The fire in Yuri's eyes dims slightly when Natsuki mentions her parents. She shrugs it off, and the fire erupts again, more intense than before.
Why is it so hard for you to apologize? Even when you're blatantly at fault, you still struggle to admit it. Instead, you throw the blame onto the others because you're too immature to apologize like a normal human.
I'm immature? I was the one who started the whole argument just because Code didn't like my poetry. Looks like we've come full circle. Great.
You're still hung up on that. My goodness, you're insecure about your poetry.
Shut the hell up! Stop! Tsundere sudden interjection startles everyone in the room.
Come on, guys, please. You guys arguing is what's tearing this club apart. I hate it when people fight. I love you guys. Seeing this just...
Tsundere begins to tear up.
Can we please stop? Yuri, I know how mad you are at Natsuki for the tea set. And Natsuki, I know you're mad at Yuri too. But why do we always have to argue with each other?
No, I can't do it. I can't do it right now. I can't do a proper crying voice. I apologize.
We're friends, aren't we? Why can't we act like it?
There, I guess that's kind of in the direction, but I can't do the full-on crying voice like I did before. Even then it was horrible. I absolutely think so. Natsuki and Yuri look at the ground ashamed. Sayori sits still, trying fruitlessly to suppress her tears. Monika walks up behind her and places a reassuring hand on her shoulder. After what seems like an eternity, Natsuki finally speaks. Yuri, I'm sorry. I am. Really, it's just... money is kind of a sensitive topic. Yuri looks up, meeting Natsuki's gaze.
I understand. Perhaps we could divide the cost 50-50?
You're willing to do that? Yuri nods. Yeah, 50-50. That sounds good. I'm, sorry for being mean. I didn't mean it.
I must apologize as well. I lost my temper and lashed out at you. I hope you can forgive me.
You're forgiven, Yuri.
As are you, Natsuki. See, this is much better. I'm glad you guys could work things out. It makes me happy.
Sayori grabs Yuri and Natsuki, pulling them into a tight group hug. That's enough, Sayori. Natsuki pulls away from the group, rubbing her neck. Jeez, you almost choked me to death.
Sorry. I guess I got a bit carried away. There's no need to apologize, Sayori. Your heart was in the right place, and that's what matters.
Alright, hang on a second. I think it's time. There we go. For more chocolates. I would so... You know, guys, that's just all. I would love to share chocolates with all my viewers. With all my one viewers. But I can't. I can't help but smile to myself at how quickly the fight was broken up. On first glance, you'd think the apologies were insincere, but nah, the way I see it, while Yuri and Natsuki butt heads every now and again, I don't think there's any real ill will between them. Yeah, in the heat of the moment, stuff gets said, stuff that makes the hostility seem more aggressive than it actually is. But if my time with Natsuki has taught me anything, yeah, she can be intimidating. But she can also be all bark and not so much bite. Anyway, with people like Sayori around, you can always rest easy, knowing that any fight will be quickly dealt with. Either way, the club is at its best when it's just us having fun, like the Halloween party. Seeing everyone together puts a smile on my face. Alright, someone needs to clean this up. Code, you do it. What, why me? Because I don't wanna do it? The girls share a chuckle. I really don't feel like arguing, especially after all that. Fine. I was joking, Code. I can do it. Nah, it's alright. Natsuki reaches into the closet and pulls out a broom. I'm doing it. Alright then. Go right ahead. Natsuki begins cleaning up the tea set, while the rest of the girls go back to their usual business. Guess I'll read for a bit. What else is there to do? What's next? Hello, Monica.
Well, that just about wraps things up, doesn't it? Good meeting today, guys. I saw a lot of good discussion. I'll see everyone on Monday. Enjoy the weekend.
With that, the girls and I begin to pack up. Natsuki and I had decided to make walking home together a routine thing. It's nice spending just a bit more time with her, but I can't help but thinking about what Sayori said back in September about all this. I forget how I had answered her, to be honest, but regardless if I was keeping my word or not, Natsuki and I were walking home together. Hey, can you hurry up? Hold on, I'm almost done. How hard is it to pack up your stuff? Harder than you'd think. So then why did I finish before you, huh? You're first year. You can't talk. Natsuki jabs me in the arm. I expected as much. I've learned that if you make a joke about Natsuki's height, age, or manga taste, you're getting smacked in some way or another. Of course, I prefer it when it's used in a joking manner. Ow. You deserved it? Did I, though? Natsuki rolls her eyes at me. You're an idiot. Yeah. I finally finish packing up and join Natsuki at the door. See ya! Natsuki waves to the girls, I do the same.
Bye, guys.
Yuri and Sayori wave in silence. I notice a sort of sad smile on Sayori's face. That smile ingrains itself in my brain, and Natsuki and I start for her house. Do you want to walk home with me? Is that it? If so, then I just ditched her. Great, now I feel bad. Why didn't she say anything? Was she just too shy? Or she maybe didn't want to hurt Natsuki's feelings? Why a lot of things? Ugh. Hey, you good? Natsuki's finger snaps right in front of my face. Huh? Oh, yeah, sorry. Natsuki eyes me suspiciously. I was just thinking about Sayori. Sayori? Yeah, we've been trying to hang out more, like we used to, so you know. Yeah, sure. Huh? Is this frustration written over her face? Was it because I mentioned hanging out with Sayori? Yeah, probably. Oh, I have an idea. She loved this. Hey, Natsuki. What? You wanna go hang out at the library? Depends on. Suddenly, Natsuki stops dead in her tracks. Right back near her house, I wonder what's gotten her attention. There's nothing out of the ordinary from what I see. There's a car in her driveway. But that's it. Yeah, let's go to the library. Natsuki makes a 180 and begins walking in the opposite direction. I trail behind her. bad feeling about this. I would question her further, but she seems irritated by something. Let me guess. She was walking home because she thought her dad wasn't home yet. And that's why she could afford to be here with me. But now that she sees the car, she's aware that her dad is home, and she can't afford to be seen with me. So she says, alright, we're turning around now. Is that it? That's probably it. Pushing Natsuki never ends well. Do you have that volume of Red Autumn? Ah, crap. Sorry, it totally slipped my mind. They'll have it at the library, I'm sure. Yeah, but the library copies are all torn up and worn. Yours aren't? Well, I take care of my manga. Unlike these low-life savages. You could say that again. The first novel in a series is always the most worn because people who've never handled manga in their life will take it out trying to get into it. And then they'll read it left to right. Amateurs. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Amateurs. Bunch of amateurs. Savages. Horrible people. Natsuki and I can't help but laugh. Ah, here we are. Let's get inside already, I'm freezing. It's not that cold. Says the guy with a full-on winter jacket. This is a very comfortable jacket, I will have you know. And yes, it is very well insulated. As we walk into the library, we pass a bunch of vending machines. One machine in particular catches my eye. Ooh, coffee. I could go for some right about now. Coffee? Well, at least you don't drink tea. What's wrong with coffee? It's not too bland. You need to add like a million different things to make it taste good. I prefer hot chocolate. Ah, respectable choice. Hot chocolate is good, but I like the caffeine. And not too much of a fan of caffeine myself. Then again, I never really tried too much of it. And yeah, black coffee is disgusting. People who drink it are probably psychopaths. Alright then. I've also been described as a psychopath on stream before. Natsuki laughs. That seems about right. Here, I'll get us to the table. You can get your coffee. Natsuki walks off, leaving me alone with the machines. What to get, what to get. Coffee sounds good right about now. The machine is being slower than usual, so Natsuki managed to find a seat and come back before I have my coffee. We're right over there. Natsuki points to a table at the other end of the room. Got it. Coffee in hand, I walk over to the table and plop my stuff down. Natsuki joins me shortly thereafter. What kind of coffee did you get? French vanilla with cream and sugar. You know, the usual. What kind of coffee do you think? I'm a fan of caramel, to be honest. Caramel, like coffee with caramel sauce or caramel flavored coffee. What's the difference? I just said the difference. Yeah, whatever, it tastes the same anyway. Well, there's probably a slight difference. Can it, Mr. Coffee Expert? Fine, I'm just saying. Natsuki rolls her eyes. You're about 2 seconds away from getting smacked. Oh yeah? Let's see it then, shorty. Shut up! I laugh, but Natsuki doesn't. Uh-oh, I may have struck a nerve there. I should probably apologize. Alright, that was a bit far on my part, my bad. Natsuki's death glare tones down a bit, but she still seems agitated. Are you really that self-conscious about your height? Natsuki averts her eyes, staring out the window at the falling snow. The stillness of the library only works to make the air even more tense. After what seems like an eternity, she sighs and turns back to me. Her gaze shifts to the ground, but still not meeting mine. Yeah? It's like... She shakes her head. I don't know. I don't know why I'm self-conscious, or why I should be, but I am. I'm only a first year, but I'm still one of the smallest girls in the school. It's... Once again she turns to look out the window. You wouldn't understand. Sorry. I do get where you're coming from, though. Well, if it's any consolation, anyone who thinks less of you because of your size is a complete idiot. You're a great person, Natsuki. You're a great poet, and even better cook. How tall you are doesn't change any of that. She turns around, looking me in the eye. Do you really mean that? Of course I do. You know what? You know why? Why? Because it's the truth, that's why. Once again, Natsuki averts her gaze. She has a facial expression that I can't quite make out the meaning of. We both sip our respective drinks in silence. Suddenly I have an idea. You're Natsuki. Yeah. Can I see your hot chocolate? Can I see your hot chocolate? She raises an eyebrow as she tightens her grip on the cup. Why exactly? I have an idea, trust me. Reluctantly, Natsuki slides her hot chocolate across the table. I take the cap off and begin pouring in my coffee. Hey, what are you doing? Natsuki snatches her cup back, causing me to spill some coffee on the table. What the heck was that for? Try it. I motion to her cup. Reluctantly, she slowly raises the cup to her lips and takes a sip. Her eyes quickly widen. Holy crap. Is it good? She hands me the cup and I take a swig. Oh, this is actually much better than I thought it'd be. I'm a genius. I doubt you're the first person to combine coffee and hot chocolate. Hey, you never know. Natsuki rolls her eyes, taking back her cup. Hey, excuse me, this is my drink? I'm not sharing. Come on, please. Please. Natsuki nods her head. Go get your own drink. I have my own drink. Then why do you want mine? Yours is hot chocolate. Aha! So you admit that hot chocolate is better than coffee. Crap. I told you so. Yeah, keep rubbing it in. I will, thank you. All that sugar's going to your head, isn't it? God, you sound like my dad. You must drink hot chocolate more. You must drink hot chocolate often then. Yeah, I wish. My dad's stickler about food, it's so annoying. My dad's the same way. At least he was. Oh. I'm sorry, I guess. Huh? Oh, no, it's not that. He's not dead. My parents are divorced, that's all. Oh, okay. That's why my mom is never home. She's always out on business trips nowadays. I pretty much live by myself. Lucky. I'd kill to live alone. Huh? It's not as glamorous as it seems. It actually gets pretty lonely. Yeah, you said something about that before the festival? Is that why? Pretty much. I've always been sort of a loner. It's not that I'm not a social person. It's just I never really felt like making friends, you know. Yeah, I understand. Sayori was like my only childhood friend, and even then we drifted apart. Joining the literature club was actually a pretty big step for me. Didn't Sayori like drag you to the club or something? Nah, I joined willingly. And I get to hang out with you, so I'd say it was worth it. Natsuki's cheeks suddenly turn a bright shade of red. Yeah, sure, whatever. You're really nice. Thanks, I try. Thank you for that. No need to thank me. Really, it's my pleasure. Oh, before I forget, what was up with Yuri's tea set? That? Don't remind me. It was an honest accident, but she just overreacted, like she always does. Well, not always actually. Now that I think about it, what are you saying exactly? I don't know, I was just thinking about it, and I realized that Yuri and I really started to not like each other around the time when you joined. Well, poop. Apparently, I messed up the club dynamic. But I know why. Only guy in the club. Woo. Yeah, I noticed that too. What? You knew Yuri? What, you knew Yuri before the club? No, not that. I was saying that I noticed that you two started fighting when I joined the club. Yeah. I've never understood Yuri. She's always been kinda arrogant, especially about literature. It's always annoyed me, but I never brought it up. Except for that one time, but that's just because she ticked me off. I don't like just going up to people and saying stuff like that. I only do it when they make me mad, you know. Yeah, I've noticed that about you. Although I'm still curious why you reacted different after I joined. I talked to Sayori and she said she noticed it too. She probably has a crush on you. Wait, really? You think? I mean, probably? Why? Do you have a crush on her? No, not really. I do have a crush, but it's not her. She's nice and all, but just not my type. So you do have a crush? Who is it? I'd rather not say. How can I say when the person I'm thinking of is right here? Fine, keep your secrets. I'll find out eventually. Sure. The conversation trails off and Natsuki and I go back to our respective novels. I don't remember ever seeing this place at nighttime. It's pretty dark outside. I look outside the window, staring at the glowing moon. Yeah, it is. Jeez, it's only 6. That's winter for you? I'll be heading out. Are we making more bentos this Sunday? Yeah, definitely. Sounds good. I'll see you then, Natsuki. See ya, Code. We wave goodbye and head off to our respective homes. Another day. So, anything interesting happening now? Should I be worried about the music? Ugh, my head. I do not feel good today. I feel like there's something pounding the inside of my skull with a hammer. Not only that, but I'm covered with sweat and my nose is clogged up to no end. Oh! Last time we got sick before Halloween. This time it's after Halloween. Interesting, so the timing changes a bit, but we're still going through similar stuff. So they not only change it up a little bit for each character, but they also start shifting stuff around a bit. Like we got the CG much earlier on than with Yuri. We got sick after the Halloween festival this time. I really should call Natsuki and cancel for today. I'm in no shape to go out. You've gotta be kidding me. Reluctantly, I drag myself out of bed and walk to the door. Soon as I open it, I see Natsuki's facial expression change. Oh jeez, what's up with you? I'm sick, if you couldn't tell. My voice is extremely raspy. It sounds like I've been smoking for 20 years. You should... A sneeze interrupts me, causing Natsuki to take a step back. You should probably head home. I'm in no condition to go shopping for stuff, sorry. You... She quivers her lip and averts her gaze. I feel terrible for cancelling, but I really am not feeling good at all. Which sucks, big time. Well, maybe I could go out shopping and bring stuff back so we could make bentos? I don't know, Nat. Are you sure you'd be alright with that? I might just get you sick. It's fine, I don't care. Oh. Ow. God, I can't even focus with this headache. If you want to, then I won't stop you. There's some money in my coat pocket. Would you mind getting me some headache medicine? I'm pretty sure that I'm all out. Yeah, sure. Alright, I'm going back upstairs. I watch as Natsuki fishes through my coat closet as I walk back up to my room. Actually, better idea. I'm gonna take a shower. I'll be back soon. Bye. My voice finally gave out, so my goodbye was barely audible. With a silent sigh, I take off my clothes and turn on the shower. Ah, much better. I read somewhere that soaking in a bath also helps with headaches. While I doubt there's science behind that claim, I'm sure that the placebo will make me feel a bit better. As the bath runs, my mind turns to the person who has been dominating my thoughts for a long time now. I feel incredibly grateful for how lucky I am to be on good terms with her. Talking to Natsuki is hard in itself. She's a very closed-off person in most situations. Around Natsuki, you have to choose your words carefully, because if you say the wrong thing, she'll get mad at you. Normally, that annoys the crap out of me. I've dealt with a couple of people like that before, and I always felt it was a chore to try and be their friend. Not with her, though. I think she's worth the effort. Well, at least the bath looks ready. The water's pretty hot, so I ease into it relatively slowly. Once I'm completely in, I sink down into the tub, letting my headache slowly fade away. Before I know it, I'm out cold. Great! You know what that means? Natsuki's gonna come back. She's gonna be looking for us. And if we don't answer, when she yells out our name, she's gonna check every room. And then it's gonna be a very interesting scenario. Huh? What was that? Code, I'm back! Oh, of course. Either way, I was out for a while, or Natsuki really is a really fast shopper. I attempt to respond, but my voice is still short, so nothing comes out. Guess that means I'll have to go down and greet her. Oh well, it was time for me to get out anyway. The water's lukewarm now, and my fingers are pruny. I rise out of the bathtub and begin draining the water as I dry myself off. Luckily, I left my clothes in on the bathroom floor, so I don't have to walk to my room naked. Suddenly I hear footsteps coming up the stairs. Code? Natsuki sounds like she's right outside the door. 1 second. Jeez, you sound horrible. I got your medicine, you better take it. With that, I hear Natsuki walk downstairs, presumably towards the kitchen. Alright, so she didn't come in, luckily. As I walk into the kitchen, I notice a few shopping bags resting on the counter. Of course, the medicine. Natsuki's over by the stove, placing a pot on the heater. Here, I'm gonna make you lunch since I don't want you coughing all over the bentos. Go sit down or something, I got this. I give Natsuki a meager thumbs up. Oh yeah, and your medicine is in the bag. Take it with some water or something? I nod as I dig through the bags of groceries and search for my medication. Eventually I find it, and to my dismay, it's a liquid sore throat medicine. You know, the kind of medicine that tastes absolutely horrible. Oh no. I consider whether or not I should throw it away and just live with being virtually mute for like a week. Screw it. In one swift motion, I pour out a serving size and down it as fast as possible. Ugh. Oh, that tastes horrible. I need water. Fast. I rush over to the cabinets and pull out a glass, quickly filling it up and drinking it. That bad? I can only nod. Natsuki rolls her eyes and goes back to cooking. Once I rid my mouth of the taste as much as I can, I go into the living room and lay down on the couch. Ouch. Looks like the headache came back. Here, take this. What is it? It's water? Duh. Oh, thanks. I sit up and gratefully take the cup from her and watch as she saunters back into the kitchen. That's better. With a content sigh, I flop back onto the couch and reach for a manga novel lying on the coffee table nearby. About 15 minutes pass before Natsuki comes back into the living room. She's carrying 2 bowls and spoons, which she sets down on the table. Here, I made us miso soup for lunch, and I think it'll help you with your throat. Thanks. I'm gonna go get some more water. Before I can stand up, Natsuki snatches the cup from my hands. I can do it! Alright then. Wasting no time, I dig into the soup. That hits the spot. Natsuki returns with a full glass, which I immediately take another large swig from. Is your throat that bad? Yeah, it hurts. I can tell. You sound like an old man. I jokingly elbow Natsuki. Hey! What? You do it to me all the time. Shut up! I can't help but laugh. So, we're not making bentos, right? Not today, no. Natsuki averts her gaze. She has a sort of melancholic expression on her face. Yeah, sorry about that. I know how much you enjoy cooking together. Don't word it like that, dummy. I am grateful you're doing all this for me, though. You're a good friend. So are you? Nothing? Alright. Natsuki and I eat our miso soup in silence. For once, however, it's not an awkward silence, more just peaceful silence. It's like we don't need words to understand each other. I didn't have any breakfast, so I finished my soup relatively quickly. Natsuki does as well. Clearly, I'm not the only hungry one. There's still more soup if you want. Yes, please. My voice has changed from being raspy to just being very low. Like, maybe an octave lower. Crazy what illness can do to you. Natsuki returns once more with another bowl of miso soup for each of us. Once again, there's a comforting silence as we eat our soup. I can tell that she's disappointed about us not being able to make bentos this week. Suddenly I get an idea. Hey Natsuki? Yeah? So I've been thinking. How about next weekend? We make bentos at your house. You know, switch it up a bit. No! Her outburst causes me to raise an eyebrow. I know by now I shouldn't press her, but I've always been curious up to her home life. As she's alluded to it before, like when she mentioned money was a sensitive topic. To hell with it. Sometimes you just gotta throw caution to the wind. Why not? Natsuki? I said no! Sorry. It's... She rests her head on her hand and sighs. Listen, this doesn't leave this room, okay? Her voice suddenly just became very monotone and serious. Okay, you have my word. Thank you. My dad... It's hard to explain. But it all started when I was 12. My mom and dad, they used to run a shop together downtown. I actually used to work in it with them. It was fun for a while. But then my mom and dad had a huge fight. I was fed up with him, so she left. Went off to Europe or something, I don't know. Dad, he was never the same. Mom was such a huge part of him. She was his rock. And now she was gone. He never got over it. By now, Natsuki has begun to tear up. I'm tempted to wrap my arms around her, but I am too shocked to move. All I can do is listen. Natsuki suppresses her cries and continues talking. He's always stressed now, always trying to keep his store running. We almost never see each other. Money was always sort of a problem, but it got so much worse after Mom left. Nowadays, there's almost nothing in my house to eat. I rarely eat. Natsuki. I want to stress out my dad by having a boy over. I'm not gonna do that to him. Natsuki's lip quivers and finally the dam breaks and she begins crying. Instinctively, I wrap my arms around her. Time to make you sick as well. What? Hey, it's alright. It's alright. Isn't that what you want when a person is really sick? They just reach out and give you a big old hug. Preferably even cough a bit while doing so. Let it all out, Natsuki. It's alright, I understand. After all, my own parents are separated too. I'm here for you. Natsuki, taking me at my word, wraps her arms around me and sobs into my shoulder. I feel as if I should say something. But what do you say in a situation like this? What else is there to say besides I'm here for you? Nothing. That's what. I know that well enough from personal experience. Empty optimism does nothing to comfort you. So that's all I can say right now, as much as I wish I could do or say more. Eventually her grip loosens and we let go of each other. Thank you. Of course, Natsuki, anything for you. Once again our gazes meet. My mind is moving a mile a minute. Those beautiful pink eyes. Natsuki, Wait. No, this is all wrong. What? Nothing. Just a stupid question. Alright. I'm gonna go get some more soup. Be right back. Before she can nod, I'm already headed for the kitchen. Jesus, that was too close. What were you thinking, Code? Trying to confess to Natsuki while she's like this? You idiot. This would be the worst time. You seriously... that would really be taking advantage of her vulnerable state. This is a strange situation, that's for sure. This felt like it just came out of nowhere. I knew she had problems at home, but this... It's impossible not to feel overwhelmed. One thing is for sure, I'm definitely going to have to be cautious. Saying the wrong thing, yeesh, I don't even want to imagine the consequences. Just don't act dumb. Hey. You didn't get any soup, did you? Huh? Oh, I guess it must have slipped my mind. Your bowl is on the table. A quick glance at the table confirms the notion that I went to get soup without a bowl. Suddenly Natsuki stands up, her glance averted away from me. I'm gonna go. Wait. What? Natsuki's fiery gaze makes my mind go blank. Just as I gather my thoughts, Natsuki heads for the door. Wait, Natsuki, listen. She stops and turns back to me. We're good friends, right? Well, since we are, I just wanted to say, if you need anything, feel free to come to me, alright? Alright. I'm taking the rest of the soup. See ya. Before I can say a word, Natsuki rushes out of the living room. Bye. I stand there, still awestruck. It's only once I hear my front door slammed shut that I finally sit down. 1,000 questions begin to race through my mind. A sudden resurgence of my headache temporarily takes me out of my trance. Try to stand up and get more medicine, but another surge of pain forces me back onto the couch. With everything else drowned out by the pain, I am left with one question. I know for a fact that I like Natsuki. But now, do I really want to deal with something like that? How do you even deal with something like that? Well, if you do really like her, then it shouldn't matter to you if you have to deal with something like that. Would it be selfish of me not to help her? I need a nap. I lay down on the couch, and in less than a minute, I'm out cold. Back to happy music. Woo! Let's do one more day, right? One more day can't hurt. But this is immediately after she opened up about her vulnerabilities, so who knows what's going on now. It's cold. More than usual. It is close to Christmas, so that's to be expected. Speaking of which, the reason as to why I'm standing outside in the cold. Since it's almost Christmas, the girls and the club decided to do a Secret Santa thing, where we all get each other's presents. And it just so happens that I got Natsuki to buy a present for. So that... I see now. So for Halloween, on the Yuri route, we didn't get any information about it beforehand. About, breaking into the school and stuff and that whole discussion. And on this route, we did. And on the Yuri route, we actually managed to see the Secret Santa and the drawing of the names. And on this route, we don't. So they actually change things up, so they don't give you all the information in every single route, just so you can actually get more new stuff. That's actually pretty interesting. That's a nice concept, actually. I mean, that the information wasn't necessary, because as they said here, yeah, well, we decided to do it, so we're doing it. But it's actually nice to see the scene go down, but not have to re-experience it in every route. That's a good way of managing it. Memories of Natsuki's teary revelation are still in the forefront of my mind, though, which makes the idea of Christmas shopping seem a little trivial. Still, she hasn't spoken to me about it since, so as weird as it feels, it's probably best to carry on with the normality of our day-to-day lives. Either way, it sucks that I can't shop with her. I talked to Sayori, and she assured me that she wasn't my Santa, so we're gonna go shopping together. I've been meaning to spend time with her, so I'm excited. Since we got Natsuki, she probably got us again, just like with Yuri, and we got Yuri and she got us. It's been maybe a week since Natsuki came over, so I really haven't been focused on spending much time with Sayori. Mom made a good point about maintaining friendships, so I should be trying to balance my time between Natsuki and Sayori as well as all my other friends. I texted her I was outside like 5 minutes ago, but she hasn't responded. My first thought was that she's still asleep, but I called her and still got no response. While I wait, I have nothing else to do but watch the cars whiz past. As the snow falls, I can't help but reminisce about when Sayori and I were younger. We used to always play in the snow, making snowmen, throwing snowballs, making forts. It was a simple time. In a way, I wish I could go back to it. Back before Sayori and I distance ourselves. Back before the club. Back to before everything got complicated. Then again, if I went back, I'd probably miss where I am right now. Yeah, things are complicated, but that's just part of growing up. I miss how things were, but I'm proud of how far I've come and how much I've grown. After all, it's fine to reminisce about the old days as long as you're willing to face what's forward head on. Thought. Ow. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Lost in my thought, I didn't notice how close I was standing to the door, which resulted in me getting smacked in the face when Sayori finally came outside. Are you okay? I rubbed my forehead. There's a bump starting to form. Yeah, I'm alright. I'm so sorry, Code. No, it's not your fault. I was standing too close to the door. Anyway, it's nice to see you. It's nice to see you too, Code. Are you ready to go? Now that... Quick question. When we go on the Sayori route, are we gonna go shopping with Yuri? Just, just close the circle, you know what I mean? I think that might be the case. Possibly. Ready as I'll ever be. Wanna head into town and see what's there? Sure! Alright, lead the way. Sayori and I embarked towards the inner city, walking side by side. So, who are you getting presents for? Me? Oh, Monica! Oof, that could be a bit tricky. Not really. Monica likes to talk about her favorite band a lot, so I was thinking we could get her a disc. A disc? Yeah, a disc. The things you put in your gramophones. You mean like a vinyl? Yeah, that. That's actually not a bad idea. Sayori smiles proudly. Though I'm still confused as to why you didn't know the name for vinyls, yet you know what a gramophone is. I don't know. Whatever. I'm sure we'll be able to find a record store around here somewhere. I hope so. Anyway, who are you getting presents for? Natsuki. Oh, that's lucky. Yeah, I know. I know exactly what to get her. I looked around online and there's this nice cooking utensil set at a kitchen supply store around here. They're made out of bamboo. They're made out of bamboo wood and the handles are made out of rubber. That's actually really cool. Ah, that's a really good gift. You really know Natsuki, huh? Yeah, I guess. We clicked through manga and we just kept hanging out. She's the one who got me into cooking, you know. Well, I'm happy for you. So he stares on the ground, avoiding eye contact. What's up with that? Does she think Natsuki and I are dating or something? Well, she'd be wrong. Natsuki and I haven't really spoken to each other since when I was sick. I do feel as if I should reassure her though, because it seems like she thinks we're drifting apart again. Yeah, Natsuki's great, but you're still my best friend, Sayori. Sayori looks up at me. But we're still friends, even if I've been hanging out with Natsuki. Come on, do you really think she can replace you? Sayori stays silent, staring at me with a confused expression. I place a hand on her shoulder. Sayori, I've known you for so long. You've been my best friend for so long and nothing will ever change that. I'm sorry for never mentioning it, but I'm really grateful that you were willing to reconnect with me after all this time. Really, I can't thank you enough. Really? Of course, silly. If we weren't friends, then why would we be shopping together? You're a good friend, Code. So are you, Sayori. Oh, don't say that. I can't help but smile seeing Sayori blush like that. After some more walking, we finally get into the city. Ah, it's nice to be back. So where do you want? Where do you want to go first? I don't know. Well, I was also gonna get Natsuki some candy, so a convenience store would be a good place to start. Then we could head to the kitchen supply store. Actually, the supply store will probably have candy near the registers, so we can just go there and skip the convenience store. Sounds good. Where is it exactly? Let me check. I put out my phone, go into my notes where I had written down the address of the place. Then I punched the address into my GPS. It's about 3 blocks from here, that way. I point straight ahead. Pocketing my phone, I start towards the store. Sayori follows next to me. We talk as we're walking. No. Imagine. We walk as we're walking alone. We walk as we're walking along. Jesus Christ, even when I try to say what I've said incorrectly, I still say that incorrectly. Am I an idiot? Don't answer that, please don't. We talk as we're walking along, but something causes Sayori to stop dead in her tracks. Code! What is it? Look! She points to a store across the street. Oh hey, a record store. Good eye, Sayori. As soon as I step in, the smell of incense hits me like a brick. Oh, that is strong. Sayori sniffs the air. She makes a face and recoils back, covering her nose. Oh yeah, jeez. At least it smells good, right? I guess. Sayori and I begin to search the place. While she's looking for Monika's gift, I look around curiously. There's a couple of records that I recognize, but most of it is foreign to me. I'm more of a manga person than a music person. The rock song playing over the store's loudspeaker is pretty good. Soft rock, I think is what it's called. Sayori calls out to me, holding a record up in the air. Finally! Found it! Curious, I examine the cover. It's a band I don't recognize. I listened to them once, they're pretty good. I can see why Monika likes them. Cool. Wanna check out? Sure. We walk over to pay, and just like that, we're off. I hope that Monika doesn't already have this. I doubt it. She doesn't strike me as the type who owns vinyls. Well, she did start playing piano a couple of months ago. Yeah, but most people who own vinyls are typically big music nerds who've been playing for years. Like my dad, he had vinyls and he's been playing piano since before I was born. I don't know. Don't sweat it. It's a great gift and I'm sure she'll love it anyway. You think so? I know so. With a smile, Sayori and I continue to walk towards the kitchen supply store. After a fair bit of walking in the cold, the two of us are glad to finally arrive. It's warm in here. Yeah, it's homey. Hey look, there is candy. A quick glance towards the registers confirms her statement. Alright, sweet. Utensils are this way, so come on. Is that it? Oh, yep, that's it. I pick up the plastic box holding the set. Yep, everything as advertised. Oval spoon, spotted spatula, corner spoon, rubber scraper, and even a rolling pin. And it's only 1,665 yen. Those Christmas deals are awesome. I look over at Sayori, who is silently laughing at me. Sorry, I'm a cooking nerd. It's fine. One of these days, we'll have to cook together. That sounds really fun. I'd have to find a good recipe for us, but I'm sure we could make it work. Now come on, let's check out. Sayori follows me as I get in line at the registers. While waiting, I also grab a couple of boxes of chocolate. I have a feeling that Natsuki will appreciate the chocolate a bit more than the utensils. But hey, why not get both? She'll love it regardless. Once I'm finally checked out, Sayori meets me by the door and we head out. So, what now? Well, I already had lunch, so I guess we can head home. Unless you're hungry. Nah, I'm alright. I'm kinda tired actually, so let's go home. Sounds good. With that, we begin our trek home. Made some small talk on the way, discussing our holiday plans and what we think the Christmas party is gonna be like. It's fun catching up with her. Although I do wish there wasn't long periods of time between them when we hang out. That would warrant catching up. Maybe I can invite her to cook with Natsuki and I. I'd have to talk with Natsuki about that first. After a good amount of walking, we finally reach our houses. Well, Sayori, it was fun, really.
Yeah, I had a good time.
I'll see you at the club.
Bye.
Well, well, well. Looks like the end of the stream has come. So, we've made quite a bit of progress. And, you know what, I'm gonna say this now. I have made a decision about the poems I've written. So far, I have decided none of my poems are even worth a title, and they still aren't. So, none of my poems have a title, because they're just meant to be mainly a video description. But as of today, I've decided that just for the hell of it, I'm gonna go back, edit the descriptions of all my DDLC uploads, and give all those poems, no matter how horrible they are, some sort of title. Probably not worth the effort, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And there's one more reason as to why I'm doing it, other than just, you know, for the hell of it. Because I feel like if you have a title, you can do a bit more with your poems. Like, play on the title within the actual poem. Stuff like that. So yeah, just figured I might throw that in here at the very end. But I feel like anything I say now will once again, as always, just be rambling. So I want to thank everyone for watching this, as always, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye!